Today is a big day. My channel is now 5 years old, half a decade old. Uh, and today I'm going to be watching all my videos over the past 5 years, and it's going to be an interesting watch, starting from the Night Cat to the most dangerous places on Earth. Yeah, I don't plan on making another animation until mid-January, which means about a mid to late February release for an animation. So this is me predicting the future. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but you'll know when I record my next official, or make my official animation next. But yeah, Night Cat, most dangerous places on Earth is where I'm going to go. And I'm also going to include some privated videos, 3, and yeah, I'll just show them to you because they've been privated for many years because they suck. But it felt like, you know, in 5 years, time to bring them back just to show you. I know most people are not going to watch this entire video all the way through, so I'm going to divide this up into chapters like I usually do. So if you want to be like, what did you think of this video? Just scroll in the timeline and then go there. So yeah, reacting to all my videos. And yeah, let's get right into it. So here is my channel. I do notes. Channel, progression. So I have made, according to this, I've made 63 videos, but that's because I made a lot of shorts clipping my content. This is what I've been making, but I think I have around 33, 34 videos as of today, like blind form. So I think we need to start where it all began 5 years ago, the Night Cat.
The Night Cat. No, the story isn't really that long. It's just a short story that I was thinking about, and I want to just spit it out in a video. So let's get started. Beep, 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 ding.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually comment here. So what I was doing here was that I wanted to start every video with a little title card being like, oh, the Night Cat, or Halloween, or the most dangerous place on Earth. Kind of like I don't know what I was inspired by. Kind of like SpongeBob in a way, but I kind of like narrate, be like, you know, little title cards where it's like, whatever the episode is. That's kind of what I was going for, but then I immediately stopped. Also, you can tell that this actually used to be the original thumbnail for the video, but I updated it since then. And actually, I'll get back to that if I remember. If not, I'll put a little text on the screen, but I'll remember. Don't worry.
The Night Cat. No, the story isn't really that long. It's just a short story that I was thinking about.
And actually, while we're on the topic of early stages of my channel, this character here was inspired. I'm not actually sure where I was inspired by this design, but I think it was definitely kind of enhanced by, like, you know, Ice Cream Sandwich has little characters, little blobs. I think I subconsciously did that when I designed it. But then again, I actually have a drawing from 2019 with a very early character. You can tell that it's me. It's very different. I do not have it with me right now, but I'll show you a picture right on screen. That was made in 2019, a little book that I made for myself. That was my character, so it's evidence of that it's, yeah. I don't think it was Ice Cream Sandwich directly, but I think the modern version of it was definitely more inspired by that. Again, indirectly. I've obviously refined it, so it's less like that. The glasses are, yeah, these are glasses. Hopefully you caught on to that. Basically, I like the idea. I like the idea of having like glasses where these are gross, by the way, but like the upper part, and it'd be like frameless at the bottom, frameless bottom glasses. And that's what I was going for, because like when you're making a character design, you don't need, I mean, you can make it really detailed, but like if you're making a very simplistic character, you gotta kind of like, so if it's gonna be like, well, frameless glasses, no one's gonna know, so you just kind of cut off the bottom, and that's kind of how it's gone. I could do the lens thing, but it's like, it's kind of part of the character design now, so I'm not changing it. I like it. I've got a few criticisms from my friends. They're like, you should change it to full glasses, and I'm like, no, that's my character design, it's my thing. So I haven't seen anyone else do it, and if you have, then they stole it from me.
I want to just spit it out in a video. So let's get started. Beep, beep, beep.
Hot chocolate.
Beep, beep. In our family living room. Okay, so I had 3 cats, and they started meowing, and they looked outside, and there was a cat outside yelling at them. I don't know exactly what it wanted, but I assumed it just hated the cats because they started hissing at each other. It was around midnight at the time.
Me. you know, the more I thought about this video, actually, you know, I'll give a commentary
So
at the
I
end.
decided to do the best thing any person can do. Okay, so that didn't actually happen, just I didn't actually pull out a gun, nor do I own one. They see each other, but they still hurt each other, and I was not happy. You may just think,
I hope
why
it
don't
was
I just
framed.
go back to my room? You know, it's upstairs, right? But I'm like, no, I'm determined to sleep in the living room. I don't know why. I did not want to go upstairs. It's probably just too lazy. But no, screw this. I'm going to sleep. After a bit, the cats decided to go to sleep. The other cat left and wandered away. And I finally go to sleep.
So, I have this end card set to the latest video. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm not too sure. The more I thought about it over the years, I'm like, I wonder if this actually happened, because I do remember this happening in the sense that it like occurred when it took place, but I feel like it might have been a dream segment. Like, because you know, you have very surreal dreams. It feels real, like a cat. I mean, obviously, like what I'm describing here is a heightened version of like, oh, there's an annoying cat outside. And I close the curtain. So it could have been real, likely could have been, but it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was real. But obviously not to the like we don't have guns. We're in Canada, for God's sake. Anyway, that's my first video. It's my first piece of fan art made by a friend. And oh yeah, my channel used to be called The Video Blogger YT. And well, we're transitioning to the next video. Yeah, so the name Vlogmations. So yeah, The Video Blogger YT is what it used to be called originally. And I changed it. I called it that because my previous channel was called that, and that name came from basically my friend had a channel name where it was pretty much his name and then Vlogs YT. At the time, I did not want my name, like I don't want Malcolm to be public, right? And my last name's not public yet. Anyway, so I don't want my name on my channel, and so I was like, well, I want to use Vlogs YT, you know, kind of. I don't know what else. Maybe I was trying to do like some sort of clan thing. I don't know, but Vlogs YT, and I was like, the video. I guess I kind of was just kind of running through the names and the Video Blogger YT, and so then around like September 2021, when I made like Halloween and games, I changed my name to Vlogmations because I was like, well, I want to do more animations, do the stereotypical like, oh, every YouTube animator does it, blankmations. You know, you got your Haminations, your Brody Animates, your Infamous Swoosh. Actually, that's a creative name. You got your Piemations, you got your Boxmations, you got your Vlogmations, and yeah. Now he's going for the Heroin Mations. Don't worry, that's gonna come one day. Halloween. Oh God, I remember the audio being absolute donkey on this.
Yes, Halloween. I love Halloween. It's like the greatest holiday out there. Like
last Halloween, me and my friend went out to another friend's house in the city over.
And we decided to go trick or treating there. So there was me, my friend I was with, the other friend, and 2 other people. It was around 6 o'clock. We decided to, you know, get our costumes on, put our masks on, get our bags of candy ready. And it was smoky, not like fiery smoky street, I'm calling it. And in the center, there's this little like newspaper thing. And I think it was me.
I don't have much commentary for this. This video just sucks.
Took a newspaper. I think we just
like,
laid it out on the ground later.
I mean, like, I remember the event happening, right? This is all like this took place during 2020, the pandemic. But I think it was funny because I remember people were like, "Oh, we don't want kids going outside this time of year because of COVID," and my friends were just like, "We want to go outside," and then we just did. I mean, we were all mostly wearing masks as far as I can remember, so it doesn't not like it really mattered anyway. Plus, we kept our distance. Like, who cares? Actually, it was actually Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 both took place during the pandemic. Halloween 3 was in 2022. COVID was over by that point. But yeah, but no one really gave a fuck. It was Halloween.
But whatever. Yeah. At another house, we actually, you know the little bowl thing where you put candy? You know, that thing? 2 people in our group decided to take the candy and pour it in.
What the? I added this for comedic effect, not real. God damn it, I thought that was real. Me, bud. I thought, no. Could've got me.
To their bags.
I forgot about this song.
I think one of the parents told us to get back because it was around like 10 o'clock at night, and we were like, really, we want to continue.
Oh yeah, this dinosaur thing I stole from Brody Animates. Sorry for my language.
Right now it's like the 31st of August. I'm recording this audio because I don't know how long this animation is going to take. It's probably going to be a little bit quicker than I think. So might go up in September if I finish it.
Video's over. Oh wait, games.
All right, this is take 3.
Oh yeah, so this is like, I started doing a little season thing where it was like I kind of put my videos up into seasons. I did it kind of just like an organizational thing. I still do it. This video you're watching, the reaction video is me season 6. God. But yeah, there's seasons. Kind of like a show, but it's not like it's really episodic or anything. But yeah, I think it's a fun way to do it.
3 of my script. I'm putting this into the video.
I like how I had like a headphone mic drawn, but I really just, for ever since the beginning, I've just been, besides the night cat, I used my Chromebook for that. But like I've had a phone, not this one. I got this phone around 2022. I used my Samsung Galaxy A8 phone. Just speaking right into the bottom of the mic for every single one of the videos. I still do it to this day. I have this mic. I actually just got it for Christmas, so my next animation, I'm going to use this one to just test the audio out. So this is going to be actually someone start something new. But up until my latest video, it's just been using my phone mic because I'm poor. I actually have another mic. I had another mic since last year. That one sucks. It was $15 off Amazon, so pretty cheap. But yeah.
Video games are awesome. I played a lot in my time. Some on the Xbox 360, some on the Wii, some on the PC, some on my DSi, and well, I got a lot. My first DS game was SpongeBob the Big One Beach Party Cook-Off, but that's a long name, so we're gonna call it SpongeBob Cooking Game. So the SpongeBob Cooking Game was
I'm not a React
quite
channel.
simple.
This is why I don't do it.
Make
I have
patties,
nothing really to say.
In order that's in front of you on a list. Serve them to Squidward, and he serves them to people.
Holy tracing.
I'm not sure, but I think you get.
God. Hold on, let's see if I can decipher this. What the hell is this? No, you can't talk to customers. Also, this is real. This is real image BTW, by the way. I should have just. There's a typing function. I don't know why I didn't just type it out, but whatever.
Like talk to the customers. I'm not really sure. Another DS game that I played was called SpongeBob.
My teeth.
Racing
I'm not a
game?
fan
I don't
of
know
them.
what
My teeth are
kart
still
racing.
ugly.
Like Mario Kart, but Sponge Kart. When I first got it, me and my brothers decided to play it, but it was like
I like how my brother has like a third eye. Shane.
extremely laggy. And they're like, yeah, it's not gonna take that long. You know, Mario Kart takes like 5 minutes. And then it took 15 minutes for it to load.
Actually, I do remember that. I do remember playing Mario Kart. Or not Mario Kart. SpongeBob Kart with my brothers. Actually, another game. We had another game called it was like cars racing, like Disney Cars, Lightning McQueen. That game took forever, and we were just like, this game, we're not playing this. That took forever. God, I missed my DSi.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Wow, I put like emojis in my captions. I stopped doing that.
I can't think of a transition, so I'm stuck with the library.
Library.
When I was younger, I went to the library, obviously, and I went online to go play some Nickelodeon Brawl game. It's not this Brawl universe, and it's not All-Star Brawl, which is...
I think what I was trying to do here was trying to act like I'm a OG or something, and be like, this new stuff sucks, even though I was 13. I'm like 17 recording this. I'm gonna be 18 when you're watching this. So, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion. I don't know why I was like, back in my day, even though I'm a 13-year-old child, yeah.
It's supposed to come to PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 or whatever, and I played the mighty game, which came out before both of them. Superhero Brawl 4!
That was
You
base.
use arrow keys to
base.
play, and I spent like a half an hour playing on the thing, because, well, what are you gonna do if you're at the library? Read books? No, reading's for nerds!
You know, that just reminded me.
No, reading's for nerds!
So, in middle school, the one around this time, I used to, like, as a bit, I don't know why I did this, but, like, would occasionally just, hit the dab. Because, like, by that point, dabbing was already cringe, and I knew that. I knew it was outdated. And I was just like, haha, funny bit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that on camera. as like a bit. I was like, oh hi, dab, as like a joke. But I think other people thought that I was doing it unironically. And so now whenever I think about it, even though at the time I knew I was doing it as a joke, I'm pretty sure other people probably thought I was doing it legitimately. And I was just like, God, I'm just like thinking of all the memories from middle school. That was such cringy.
Fortnite, that's a popular game, or at least it was. Side tangent before I continue my script. My friends are like,
Yeah, this is back when I used to play Fortnite on my phone, because I didn't have a console. Actually, I play Fortnite on my Switch Lite. I got it when I was 15 for a birthday. It's pretty much my Fortnite device at this point. As of making this video, it is currently 29th of December. We're currently on the new season, and I am just playing as Peter Griffin and SpongeBob, and I'm just grinding just to have fun. It's not a bad game. I like it. I play it probably my most played game in terms of like compared to everything else. I don't play Minecraft as much as I used to. Among Us has been just dead in the water. I mean, I've gotten slightly back into it. It's just kind of like I don't know. It's been a while. Let's test it out. But yeah, I can see why people. I don't know why I clung on to the game for so long. I guess because my channel was founded on Among Us. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, I played it for a lot longer than other people have. But yeah.
like, yeah, no, season 7 was so bad, like the aliens or whatever, yeah, it sucks. And I'm like,
I remember the alien criticism.
What aliens?
I don't know why.
Like,
I just heard it. Like,
chapter 2. What's chapter 2? Okay, actually, no, but the last part. But aliens. Yeah, I downloaded Fortnite on my phone.
yeah, right there on my phone. Because my laptop was not able to run anything besides Among Us. That's probably why I played it, because nothing else would work.
Because my laptop won't work, it'll only run Among Us, and... Oh, look, I'm 3 minutes into the video. Nice. And, yeah, no, this is just a rant of video games, I guess. Minecraft. The first memory I have of that playing that game was, me and my brother were playing on the, PCs, or Windows, or whatever you want to call them, and we were playing on this Java edition.
I'm not sure if it was Java. I think back when this video was made, I feel like I thought all computer Minecraft was Java, but obviously Java and Bedrock are both on computer. You can play both. I have both. I don't know why I was so like we were on a computer, not an iPad, even though I did play Minecraft on an iPad, not my own iPad, with my friend's iPad, the same friend who had that other YouTube channel. That was a fun memory. Played on iPad. That was actually my first experience playing Minecraft. So, yeah, I feel like playing Minecraft. I'm not sure. Maybe either the iPad thing or this thing right here, one or the other.
And I played on computer,
yeah.
not on an iPad. But whatever. We were playing, and
forgot to color something in.
And I had a little farm. I don't know how I built it, or at least I think it was pre-built for me. But whatever. I had a farm, and I was just working on it. And it really comes out of nowhere. I'm like, hello, bud. But yeah, I'm just fun. See little nice chickens. Yeah, what do we name them? All right. Like, all right, cool. So I walk away, and when I come...
This is another one. I'm like, I'm not sure if this actually happened or if it was just a very vivid dream. But I have no idea.
Back to see my chickens. They're all upside down, and my sheep are called _Jeb. If you don't know what that is, they're about to flip your animal upside down, and _Jeb makes sheep rainbow. And it's a cool feature, and I'm pretty sure it still exists. And if it doesn't, then I'm kind of mad. Yeah. Oh, back in December of the pandemic year, I was playing Minecraft on the Xbox 360. Then I opened Survival, and then I haven't played since because I forgot it existed until right in the...
Oh shit, Technoblade. I never watched him. I don't know why I drew him. I think I just knew him like by name, but I don't know.
It's a game that I've been playing a lot recently. Sadly, the game started to lose traction back in last November. As of making this script, the last update was on July 5th, 2 months ago. Wait. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go back to killing. Wait, no, guys, don't put me out. Don't put me out!
Hey, Donald Trump, as an Among Us character.
No, guys, don't put...
Can't believe he's still the president. Alright. Oh. Click too far. Alright. Episode 4, Gingerbread Thief. Let's go. Now this is where it gets epic. As you can tell, it says epic music. That's also really loud.
December, the amazing time of year.
You can hear
Open
like
up the
I like how in
Christmas
games
trees,
you hear my voice
I
being
do
like
a
high
holiday
pitch, and now it's
video.
kind of got deeper.
I nearly get suspended for eating a gingerbread cookie at school. Secret Santa. Why are you looking at me so weirdly? Yeah, that actually happened, and I'm gonna tell you that in today's video. Alright, it was.
And I still have like the actual memory of this. Obviously, it wasn't that long ago in terms of like life, but yeah, I remember this vividly.
December 15th, English block, right after lunch. I was in class looking around because I'm bored, and I noticed there was a gingerbread man lying on the teacher's desk. And I'm gonna nickname this teacher Miss Shoe. And towards the end of class, I asked Miss Shoe.
I didn't give Miss Shoe
yes,
character design.
And the bell rang
And
for
she
final
used
block, and I
sketch.
headed out of class.
Sam.
Okay, so this new class was called Woodwork, and at Woodwork, I was working on this gumball machine.
I don't know. Hopefully, I did not actually put the gumball. I didn't put the glass jar on the top because it is too small for it. There's not enough like space. And I was actually planning on bringing it back to my woodwork shop, but I just never did. I just kind of left it. I mean, I like it as a cup holder. I mean, a pen holder now. It's been useful. I have done woodwork every year since grade 8 and up into high school. I'm gonna have a semester 2 of this year, which means by the time you're watching this, I should already be attending second semester woodwork shop. I was thinking about bringing that thing back to class just now, but I'm like, you know what? It's kind of a relic of its time. I'm gonna keep it how it is.
You know, as I was making it, a new teacher comes into class, and we're gonna nickname her Miss Uranus, and she says to me,
Malcolm.
Savage Burrito. I don't know what happened to that guy.
I
I just
reluctantly
remember
agreed
him
to
joining
follow
my
her
server
into
one day.
another room of the woodwork
I was
shop.
like, hey, you're another
And I said,
animator.
what's up? Because I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So what was I worried about?
Did you steal a cookie from Mrs. Shue's desk?
Yeah.
Alright, follow me.
God, I hated. I was okay. Maybe hate's a strong word, but I remember I was not the biggest fan of Miss Uranus. My friends weren't either. My friends and I were like, we don't like this person. She's really stingy. But I think looking back, I mean, she was still annoying, and I think like our hatred was justifiable to an extent. But I mean, she was kind of doing her job. But it's just like I feel like, as you're about to see, being suspended. That was a real threat, by the way. She was like, I'm gonna think of. Sorry, I woke up like only a few hours ago. I'm like probably should have had some time to like settle in and wake up for the day. But anyway, yeah, she was planning on suspending me for stealing the cookie, even though I was a good student. I never did anything wrong, at least in middle school. Elementary school, I was a demon. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah. But middle school, I was a good student. Not so much grade-wise, but behavior-wise, I was a good student. So I don't know why I was being threatened with suspension that quickly. But yeah.
I followed Miss Uranus into the office, and I didn't actually go inside. She got some papers, which I assume were like some documents.
I have no idea what
didn't
those
say
documents
anything
were. She
because
never brought them up
didn't really
again.
bring them up later. We arrived at Miss Shue's room, and the door was locked, and Miss Uranus said,
I remember where she is. She's upstairs.
I followed her upstairs to go to a small room of the school where we met Miss Shue. Wasn't really much of an interrogation. It was more like, why'd you do it? And I told the teacher the reason why I took it in the first place was because I wanted it, and asked her if I could take it, and I got approval. But since I have bad hearing,
I do actually have bad hearing in my right ear. Partially deaf. I have to wear a hearing aid. This is a newer one I got. Do I wear it often? Not as much as I should be. Good for Bluetooth music though. I'm just putting it in 1 year. Listen to music in class, but yeah. Unlike glasses, I do notice that I'm wearing a hearing aid. Glasses, I'm just like, oh wait, I'm wearing glasses.
hearing
Because I've been wearing glasses since I was 3 years
that
old.
I got earlier was probably a reply to another student and not me. Miss Uranus looks at me, looks at Miss Shue, and says,
How long should we suspend him for?
right there, my brain cells just died. Are you kidding me? Getting suspended for a freaking cookie? That's so dumb. And in reality, I just stayed quiet.
Holy
So I
voice
said that
crack.
I'd get, well, kind of murdered.
Well, if we see him continue to steal food, we might need to reconsider him being suspended.
I like how I highlighted the
For
word
now, let him
sus.
off the hook.
In a look of
Jesus.
defeat, Miss Uranus told me to go back to class, and I enjoyed the rest of my day.
That subtitle is right, by the way. yeah, that's like blasting in my right ear.
enjoyed the rest of my day. And yeah. Also, my TikTok got banned. I have 3 potential reasons. I'm not gonna say them because I'll just drag the end card for so long.
Oh yeah, fan art. I have stopped doing that. My server's been dead. I
Also,
have not much fan art recently, which is fine. I don't really put it in videos anyway anymore. Yeah. That was mainly a 2022 thing anyway. People were like, oh, here's some fan art. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my TikTok account got banned. That was stupid. I forgot what my reasons were as to why I think I got banned, but I remember it being dumb. Movie theaters. Oh yeah, music I stole from Josh 3.5. Again, another person I found on like Discord.
Ow!
How did I meet him? I forgot, but his channel's been dead. I think it was like a few months after I made this video, he stopped uploading. Yeah. Oh yeah. Merch. Yeah, that was another thing. People were like, oh, here's some merch. God, I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that. Like, if my channel does go somewhere, I don't know if I'll probably sell out. Let's be honest. But yeah.
Oh, my head hurts.
Hello.
Hi. What am I doing here?
I'm bored and I need to get subscribed. I mean, hey, you want to talk to me about movie theaters? That's a yes.
Okay, that's actually kind of sick. I like this.
Going to the movie theater is awesome. My favorite part is getting popcorn and pouring as much butter and salt on it. Praying, that I don't get diabetes. You know what my most
Nice,
hated
Megan.
thing about theaters, in my opinion, is? The long commercials at the start. If you get a 6 o'clock showing of Spider-Man No Way Home, the movie won't begin until like 6:30. Oh great, the movie's over. Ah, dang it, the mess. Oh great, the movie's over. Ah,
Oh, that was Amber Heard. Right. Johnny Depp trials.
dang it, the
I
mess.
forgot about that.
Yeah, if you're the type of person who leaves their garbage
Yeah.
in the theater and expect the janitor to
I don't know why I don't know. I don't know why I
you're a horrible person, and probably the same person who leaves their McDonald's food
why
on the
was I feel
table
like
and
adding
expects the
like, man,
janitor to
Johnny
clean it
Depp.
up.
I
When I
don't
was
really give a
10,
fuck about Johnny Depp. I don't know why.
our brother, 2 of his friends, and I went to see Tea Time.
Oh, but yeah, that was Chandler Shane. That friend, by the way, wasn't actually a friend. It was actually just my brother Shane. My memory got messed up again. I'm like the least. I've been second guessing a lot of my memories. I don't. I have photos for a lot of these things. So, now, but yeah, that was my brother Shane. He was actually part of that. I tend to write scripts on the fly, or used to. I used to write them on the fly. Now it's more like I kind of like develop them a bit more. I'm trying to like be more like rereading. It's I mean it's like, oh well, you should be rereading your stuff. But yeah, but again, I was 14. I was dumb. You'll learn the stuff as you get older, sort of
Guys
thing.
go to the movies.
Wait, you watched Teen Titans Go? What were you, like 10?
Yes.
Yes, I just mentioned that.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
Anyways, when I was at the theater, my brothers and his friends were just goofing off, telling these, funny jokes that I didn't understand. And I was trying to enjoy the movie, and these guys were like, I don't know, 17, and they were
17. Damn, that's how old I am. I mean, to be fair, if me and my friends were watching this movie, we'd probably do the same thing. Screwing around watching a movie. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I am still pretty like wanting to not be an asshole in movie theaters, but yeah, that's not my wall. Yeah, 17. I'm an unk. I'm almost an unk. I'm about to be 18.
You're making
Hell
jokes
nah.
around, random things. And you'd expect a 10-year-old to do that, except, well, I didn't, because I just wanted to watch the movie. And I got secondhand embarrassment because literally there's people staring down our
I think I was exaggerating. I don't think people really cared that much. I feel like I heard like 1 or 2 people being like, shut up, but that was kind of it.
necks, like, stop laughing during the movie. In January, my brother took me and his friend to go see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I haven't
And I
watched it in
said,
a while.
do you remember when I was 10 and we went to see Teen Titans Go and you guys wouldn't stop laughing? He jokingly said, yeah, I don't remember that. And I just gave him the seriously kind of face. And, they kept quiet during No Way Home, which was good for
Ooh, I don't like pausing at these frames. It's like, ooh, this looks awful.
them, but like, I don't know. Actually, you know what my favorite scene was? It was the time when,
Shh, hey, some of the audience hasn't seen No Way Home yet.
ow, that hurt.
Will Smith.
And also, that concludes this video. Do you have
Will
anything to
Smith.
say, Josh?
No, but I'm gonna go back to my universe because I think I got bitten by one of your cats.
Sorry, it's just, my cat.
Knight. That's when I gave Knight a name. Knight's a fictional cat. Like, there's the real cat in the video, but I have the real life version. I have no idea what happened virtually. It's dead. It's most likely dead and has been for many years. But I kind of made the fictional version of the cat a character, a little mascot. Yeah. Little mascot character. And you want to know what's funny is that around 2 months after my video, the Night Cat released, I got my cat Ajax. He's a black, green-eyed, skinny cat. I portrayed the Night Cat as a fat one, so Ajax is skinny. He's loud. He might be a reincarnation, but Ajax is a nice cat. He's an amazing cat.
Don't worry about him. See ya.
Adios.
I guess now we're giving it a try.
Minded. Sorry, I'm not a good singer. Yeah. We're 5 videos in. How long are we in? We are 32 minutes in. Not bad. Canada. All right. So this time,
Canada.
so my phone actually. So this is a very weird thing. So I no longer had my Galaxy A8 phone. I got an LG phone, but that phone was crappy, right? LG G7. I feel like that was the model. The model was crappy, and actually no, the model was fine. The phone itself was crappy because the phone had like severe screen burn in it. If you don't know what screen burn in is, it's a nightmare of a thing to have on your phone. But it was so bad that like even for 5 seconds on a screen, it was impossible to like 5 seconds on a screen, it would just burn in instantly. And when you're trying to animate something, it's really hard to do something. It's like hard to draw, right? If it's like because like onion layering, for example, when you have like one frame and you're trying to animate over the previous one, it's very hard to do. And I was like, crap. And so I stopped using that phone to animate. And then I used my crappy laptop at the time to animate this video. That's why the video sucks. And a few weeks before this video came out, I got my Samsung Galaxy S20 phone. So the next video, the coolest word I had, was the first video animated on this phone. And every single video on my channel since then has been animating using this thing. I have a new laptop now, but the reason I have now been animating on it is because, one, I'm just really used to this. I don't really see a reason as to why. I know the benefit to changing would be like better software, but it's like if I'm used to this, I don't see a reason as to why I need to change immediately. Down the line, I do want to get a good drawing tablet, just so I can have like I do want to switch computer one day, fairly soon, in like a year or two. Assuming I still do YouTube. I want to do YouTube for as long as I want to. But yeah, I've been using this phone to animate. I like it. Hold on. Okay, let's continue.
Oh, Canada. What a great country. It produces the most amount of syrup worldwide, and it's not known for banning Kinder eggs instead of guns. I don't know why America did that.
That's Joe Biden, by the way. I got one comment. I don't know what happened to the comment, but I got one comment being like, oh, that's Franklin D. Roosevelt or something. Is it still on here? Oh, yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's not. It wasn't him. No, that's Joe Biden. But yeah, this video had like a decent amount of potential, but it was just like, again, my channel was very early on, right? I feel like had I made this video later, it would have been better, but yeah.
And Kinder eggs.
But I don't want to remake videos for like.
I don't know why America did that. Recently, I've been hearing about Bill C-11, which is a new Canadian law that's trying to be passed.
That law sucks, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's still not good. The government should not be censoring anything. They should repeal that immediately. Like they shouldn't have never passed it. I feel like restricting information's wrong. I feel like the internet should be free, right? The internet is of the people, for the people, by the people, sort of thing. The government should have no control over that. Obviously, if it's like illegal, illegal stuff like, well, I mean, I don't want to name the illegal stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. That's obviously should be banned. But I feel like freedom of the press should be, free. So yeah.
Basically, it filters out content on major social platforms like
I have
YouTube
chips. I forgot.
to show more Canadian stuff. Like, I'm not kidding. The official website says the act plays an important role in supporting Canada's cultural industries and ensuring Canadian content is more available and accessible. And also, it doesn't mean like content like Gingerbread and Brody Animates. No, it's like channels that are like Canada's history and stuff they base channels that are like Canada.
I do want to do Canada history one day. I just haven't figured out how I want to do it. That's something I do want to do. It has been in the back of my mind. I just don't know how that I'm gonna do it. I'll figure it out. But I do want to do more Canada stuff because not much people really cover it.
Canada's history and
animation.
stuff they basically screams Canada, which is stupid because I like making content. I'm Canadian, but you know I don't want to say I want to get a box of Timbits. Bet 2 loonies and a toonie on a meese and geese playing hockey in Saskatchewan during a snowstorm, eh? That's stupid, and I don't want to say that. And if you want to see more Bill C11 stuff, tap the information icon here, and click the Endcard thing, because I'm not talking about it. I'm not an educational.
Yeah, that ain't bad. I'm now an educational channel, or at least strive to be. I'm not smart. I'm just very passionate about the things I make videos about. Yeah, no. I'm still learning how to make videos. I'm always learning. Everyone, when you make content, you're always learning how to make videos. You never stop learning. And if you think you've completed, if you think you know how to make videos 100%, you don't. You're lying to yourself. There's always room for improvement. Every video I make, I could have
I'm just gonna ramble on
I could have done something better, but yeah.
about stuff because why not? You're not Canadian if you've never had.
My laptop's killing itself.
Now I'm just gonna ramble on about stuff because why not? You're not Canadian if you've never had bagged milk. Like I've never seen bagged milk at a store before that I can recall.
Barbecue on my fingers.
And I just buy 2% jugs like any sane person. And if you buy skim milk, you're disgusting. So
Oh my god. Skim milk's gross. I don't like skim milk. It's too watery for me. That's just me.
if you're a tourist or just having any questions about Canada, here's some stuff to follow. 1. Don't ask where's your bagged milk in any province west of Ontario. Always remember to bring your Monopoly money.
Yeah.
You must know what a double-double is at Tim Hortons.
I don't drink coffee. I don't know why I mentioned this. I'm a hot chocolate person, not a coffee person.
It's coffee with 2 cream and 2 sugar.
If you're I'm not an adult, so maybe I'll get used to it, but I don't think I will. Yeah.
I think don't expect a lot of lawsuit commercials on TV because we're not as money hungry as you are. And remember the difference between Kinder Surprise Eggs and Kinder Joys, or it's gonna be a surprise at your door. And if you don't follow any of these, hey, the White House looks like a pretty good place to host a bonfire.
That right there was I had a voice crack, and I was like, oh god, I don't want to have that voice crack be visible or audible, but then I made it more noticeable by putting a stupid filter over it.
Or doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, next video.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys about a pretty cool dream that I had recently.
You kind of see the animation starting to get better and better.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys about a pretty cool dream that I had recently.
Peter Griffin! Oh, Quandale Dingle. I forgot about that.
I hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin. I was in math class, and the teacher was teaching math, and I kid you not, Mr. Beast walks in the class.
Going right into it. I feel like it could have had more build-up. I feel like it went like straight into Mr. Beast. But yeah, no, that was an actual dream.
With a capsule filled with chocolate. My brain was like, yeah, this makes sense. You know, he only recently watched a Mr. Beast video. In the dream, he said, the first person to jump in this tub of chocolate wins the money. Obviously, I jumped out of my chair and into the little chocolate capsule thing. However, there was a problem. Apparently, the footage was blurry, so they needed to reshoot. So the clip of me jumping in got deleted.
Sponge Dubs, I remember that. That was amazing. Sponge Dubs. God, this channel, he stopped uploading. That was like 4 years ago. 5 years ago.
If you ever try to let go.
Anyways, yeah, I was covered in chocolate.
Yeah,
I was sad because another kid jumped in the thing and got money. However, the footage was also deleted. How come that kid got money and I didn't? So basically, the dream decided to morph me from inside the math class to outside with a few extra friends. For the sake of convenience, I will call one of these friends Jack, and we ended up leaving the school, but we didn't really skip school. We kind of like left to go back. I don't know how that makes sense. We ended up walking into like my old elementary school for some reason, and there's like this distorted version of it. There's this added room that didn't actually exist. Basically, it was like an armory room. It looked weird. I have to draw it for you to know what it is, so this is what it looks like. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I can still remember what I was trying to draw, but
And one of the friends gives me a gun and says,
"Here, take this. We'll need it."
"Oh, okay." And then the dream morphed again. And we are back in this school, and there's an alarm blaring for us to evacuate.
Hey, wait
Hey, the alien.
for me.
An alien blob type character started chasing me. Part of the school explodes, and I didn't get injured. And then over 500 or so people escape out the back doors into this massive field. Me and a few random students find this little bush area and start hiding.
Never mind.
But the aliens didn't see us because apparently they didn't seem to care that there's a group of people hiding. I don't know what their intention was. Oh, it was a dream. Who's that Jack guy? Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not real.
Hey.
Alright, so I have a few things I want to mention.
Yeah. Yeah, this is when I stopped getting fan art. Or, sort of. Yeah. I still remember this dream in terms of, like, the actual contents of it. But, like, this is, like, a very rare exception. I don't remember my dreams that much. I don't believe people when they're like, oh, I had this dream today, and it was, like, the most detailed thing ever. I'm like, I doubt you had this dream. This dream was a very rare exception. It was very rare. I remember I wrote it down, and I was like, I remember this. Most of my dreams now, I have had a couple dreams where I'm like, I can kind of remember them. I've actually started writing my dreams down, but they're very, like, vague notes, right? They're, like, once in, like, a year or two where I'm like, I can remember this in detail. This is a rare exception. Most of my dreams I cannot.
You off right.
Yeah. Alright, what are we at? Well, we have a ways to go. Oh my god.
You know, this is worse than the time I met Peter Griffin in co-op.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I think it's like kind of a weird coincidence that like my character like looks like look at this. This looks a lot like the drunken clam logo, right? The hair, the head. I was just like, I cannot unsee it now. Whenever I see this, I'm like, that's my logo. I didn't watch Family Guy that much. I mean, it could have been inspiration, but I doubt it. I didn't watch Family Guy at the time when I made this character design. But it was only after I was like, oh wait, that's kind of funny. So yeah.
Breaking Bad is good.
I never watched it. It seems unappealing.
This video was never actually meant to be uploaded. I was just bored this is in the summer, right? Yeah. In the summer. I'm like, I'm gonna upload this. And I got popular. I'm like, what the hell? I put no effort into it because I put no effort into it. I put no effort into it because I didn't care, because I didn't really think it was gonna be uploaded. I'm like, I'm just gonna upload it anyway, sort of thing. Right? But I guess people like low quality stuff. Halloween 2 the sequel. Let's go.
Alright, welcome back to another episode of Stuff You Didn't Ask For. Today's episode, Halloween 2, the sequel. Cue the intro! So to catch you up to speed, last year I made a video talking about Halloween of the previous year. So that would have been 2 years ago. So this year, I'll be talking about last year's Halloween. So my friends decided to go trick-or-treating again for a second year.
We might be going for a third year. I want to make a video, lol. Halloween 3 the Trilogy. You know what? I'll get
so here's the friends' names, because I never really gave them names in the first place. So there was Nugget. He dressed up as a cult guy. There was Fry. He dressed up as a janitor. And then there was Cheese. He dressed up as Cthulhu. And a new friend, Leland, he dressed up as a biohazard guy. Hudson couldn't make it. He went with other friends.
And then there was me, I dressed up as a jetpack blow-up guy. After watching TV, eating a bunch of hot dogs and chips, running around Nugget's house like idiots, we eventually got our masks on, got our costumes on, and headed outside. Not even 5 minutes after we leave the building, Leland trips on a miniature staircase and rips his costume. In the worst spot ever. Yeah, that sucked, but we continued going anyways because, well, you know.
Yeah, he ripped his pants and he was wearing underwear, so he was fine. But I thought that was a funny little trip and rip your pants.
A minor setback won't hurt anybody. A bit later, we saw some
Donald
teens
Trump.
chucking some fireworks on the
Mr.
ground in a
President.
public space. Towards the end of the cul-de-sac that Nugget
Public
lived in,
space.
we found a candy bowl with nothing in it. Roughly a good 15 minutes later, we found a bench and sat down and ate some candy. Fry was on Spotify and played the Squid Game theme. After that experience, we got up, walked away, and split up somehow. I was with Fry and the others were hopefully together. And it took a solid 15 minutes for us to find each other. And Cheese and Leland left because they were like, you know what, we're done walking. Let's just go back. Some random kid jumped in front of us and yelled, "Stop! You're violating the law!" And then just walked away.
That doesn't. What?
Kids are weird. And then Fry left because he was like, you know what, I'm also done. So remember how I was talking about the candy bowl thing earlier? Well, Nugget decided to do that. Except
Andrew Tate, I forgot that he was relevant back in 2022. And he got like arrested like a year or two later.
though the person was watching him. Like, he didn't even care, and that was the funny part.
I think it's because
at another house, we were given water bottles by this, like, old lady. She's like, here you go, kids. Here's some water bottles.
Man, I don't know why I was complaining about water. Man, that's peak, dude. You gotta drink up. Stay hydrated. I don't know who this woman was, but go.
Like, thanks, lady. We're just gonna put that back there and just never drink those.
Drink your water,
We walked back to Nugget's house with 2 very heavy bags of candy, a bunch of chocolate bars, and water bottles.
That fan art's good. Ethan animates. Whatever happened to him? Alright, Canadian snacks, let's do this. I actually made a comment under this video 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't know why I glazed coffee crisp. Kraft dinner's good. Yeah, I like Kraft dinner, I'll eat it, but it's like, again, not a thing from God. I want Hickory Sticks. I still not Hickory Sticks in a while.
Hold up, you already made a video about Canada already. You might be thinking, however, I do not care because there's so much stuff that I left out in that video that I should have added. Like one topic, Canadian snacks.
I forgot about that.
I hear you Americans saying, we have Kinder eggs. No you don't. The ban has never and will never be lifted. The eggs that you guys have are Kinder Joys, which we also have. And I can say that compared to the original egg, they have some problems. Kinder
Joys are mid. I think I had them once or twice in my life, but Kinder eggs are just much better.
Toys are split in twine, having the chocolate on one side and the toy on the other, which completely ruins the fun of the normal Kinder egg, which is choking on a yellow plastic shell because you overestimate how thick the chocolate layer is.
What? I mean, like, when you open up the wrapper of a Kinder egg, you just... I mean, you're supposed to, like, crack it open. What I do is I just, like, bite into it, like, eat the top layer, and then I just take out the plastic cartridge. I just throw that away. Just eat the rest of the chocolate like that.
Okay, Smarties are a bit confusing between Canada and the United States, because in the US, Smarties are these chalk-like things, but in Canada we call them rockets. However, in Canada we call Smarties these like M&M-like candies. The more you know. Now, what are my opinions on Smarties? Well, after Halloween,
Smarties are good. I mean, like, they're not, like, bad. They're, I don't hate chocolate. I like chocolate, and I think there's, like, chocolate I like, and chocolate that I think is, like, okay. Smarties is okay. But I don't hate any chocolate, per se. Chocolate's chocolate. Who cares?
the last thing in my bucket is Smarties. However, I do like opening the little tab and just start chugging them. I was surprised way back in, like,
7th grade that hickory sticks are only in Canada. Also,
Yeah, apparently they
really
are.
underrated. If you foreigner ever...
Oh god, I predicted Trump going back into office. Me, bud.
ever travel here, go to Walmart, buy these things, you will not regret it. Coffee Crisp is 100 out of 10 the best chocolate bar out there. If you disagree, you'll be meeting Satan just a few minutes after I hunt you down. And the best for last,
That's
drum
stupid.
roll please. Craft dinner. It's the greatest lunch and dinner, not so much breakfast.
I mean, you could have it for breakfast. Who cares? I probably would now, but like I'd have leftover mac and cheese because I'm not making that shit in the morning. Maybe, but whatever.
There's so much I can talk about craft dinner, but to put it simply, it's a food from God. Yeah.
Not from God, but okay.
That pretty much wraps it up. I have literally nothing else in the script. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the end card. I don't know if you can tell, but I was sick.
Yeah. Speaking of being sick, I think I'm sick again. I better not be. My nose is a bit stuffy. But I haven't been sick yet, so I don't know. Nay, you know what? I'm fine. I'm a healthy man right now. Got little sniffles. Why would you say that? Oh god.
I'm not here right now. Clearly. Oh my god.
You said
we were
talking?
Okay, you said Iggy. He said Donkey Kong, and I was like, who are you playing? And you're like, I'm not saying it. I was like, why? I thought you were looking at me because I was going to say... Why would you say that?
Also, so he didn't actually say the word
Why
that
would you
was
say that?
implied. Turns out what he said, I'm not... Sorry, Johnny Two Chills, I'm not watching your video. But he did not say the word that was implied that he might have said. But he actually said, well, he said Iggy, but with N at the start, is what I heard. It wasn't until after I made that video that it was... So I made it look worse. I didn't believe it. I did not believe the video. The video was bleeped originally. But yeah.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, okay. Uh, 3 AM challenges were a weird trend. I used to be terrified of these. Like, I kind of believed them. I did believe them, but it was like, I was very skeptical of them. But I still fell for them for some reason. 3 AM challenge. And actually, before I even watched this video, there's actually another channel I used to watch that I kind of just like, it kind of unlocked when I just, oh, it was like this, it's called like, it's like Project Zorgo or something, I think. God, that name just like, Chad Wildclay, that was the channel's name. Chad, I'm sure he's still making the same slop content, but I remember watching that. God, I was innocent kid. What the hell is in the corner of my screen? This is why my ex broke up with me and my friends don't something. Sorry, Corbin and Aiden. In my suggestions box.
2016 to 2018 was a very weird time on YouTube.
Audio
like
muffled.
slime videos, prank channels, unboxing toys, but more importantly, challenge videos. A good portion of those challenges were 3 AM or 24-hour challenges. I was around 10 years old during this time, so I was in the...
I have my tablet, the Acer Iconio 1.7. I remember all the specific model types of my phones and devices over the years.
My demographics to believe in this stuff. But I would never really act on those things because I was kind of worried that they were going to be real, and I had nightmares for a little while.
Now I stay up till 3 AM playing Fortnite. And doom scrolling on TikTok. I have bags under my eyes. I should... God, my sleep's awful.
Also, you can find
Winter
almost
break,
any
but
kind
still.
of 3 AM challenge out there, no matter the type. I'm not joking. You can find We Summon Herobrine at 3 AM. Calling creepy numbers that you should never call. Or, my personal favorite, calling Hitler at 3 AM, not clickbait, scary, gone wrong. And yes, these videos exist, and if you want to see them, link in the description below. Yo, what is up, my subscriber gang? It is me, Malcolm, back with another crazy 3 AM challenge, and today I'm going to be summoning Bloody Marys. Alright, the first thing that you'll need is a few things. A mirror, a candle, the ability to speak,
and for it to be 3 a.m., guys. Luckily, we have all those criteria met. No, wrong,
I like
wrong
this
way.
gag. It sounds
Okay, now we have to say the phrase Bloody Mary 3 times. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Okay, nothing's happening. Okay, I ended the recording. But no, you're supposed to be record. What's that? Bro, if you're gonna say there's a ghost next to me, I'm not gonna believe you. Alright, I hope you guys had a pretty good Halloween last week. I sure did. Halloween 3 will be happening next year, so keep an eye out for that. Also, my channel is really close to 200 subscribers, around 20 people away. So if you have yet to subscribe, hit that button, because I want numbers to grow big. Yeah.
I'm not have breakfast. This is my breakfast. All right, guys. Okay. All right, Christmas traditions. Let's go. My last handful of chips. Christmas. It's a holiday that almost everybody celebrates. Even if you don't, you probably get festive with the fact that it's winter or something like that. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the traditions from around the world, and then talk about some random stuff afterwards. This is also a Roman pagan holiday formed after the winter solstice being the shortest day of the year, which also symbolizes, like, death or something.
Okay, let's get back on track. Now get...
Yeah. I probably should went into depth on the origin of Christmas. You know, that might be another video I'm going to make, the history of Christmas. I don't know why I cut it out, but there's a segment where I was talking about Jesus. Is because I was talking about... I mentioned both that Christian Christmas originated from the the alleged, not alleged, the birth of Christ. I believe Christ is a real person. Magic stuff is debatable, but but the Christians took the holiday from the pagans, and the pagans, Celtics or whatever they were, they celebrated Christmas for the winter solstice. They wanted to celebrate the winter because, you know, winter is depressing, right? I mean, we're lucky to live in a time where it's like warmth, being in our own houses watching YouTube. Back then it was freezing cold, they had to deal with the snow, it was very harsh, most people didn't make it through the winter, and so they were like, we're gonna celebrate this holiday. We're gonna make a holiday to celebrate this time. You're kind of I have to look into this a bit more, but the general gist is that they're like, it's cold, we want to make this day a bit more celebratory and less depressing. And then the Christians were like, hey, that's pretty cool. Let's rename it. So, and yeah, I think Christ was born sometime around then. We actually don't even know. Like, not even just like pull digs at Christianity, which I'm not. I'm just stating the things here. It's just that we're not even sure when Jesus Christ was really born. Maybe we don't even have evidence whether he was even born in the winter at all, but they kind of just like, let's just play some few days after the winter solstice. But afterwards, this is also a Roman pagan holiday formed after the winter solstice being the shortest day of the year, which also symbolizes like death or something.
Okay, let's get back on track.
Because people die.
I'll get on my train.
Wait, yo, Sketch.
Huh? Oh, I forgot about you.
They on this epic train.
I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Yep, you are correct. Now get in. Welcome to Japan, where each Christmas most families would eat fried chicken instead of turkey. This tradition is so well known in Japan that some KFC restaurants in the country have decided to dress up Colonel Sanders outside their doorstep. That finishes our stop. Now let's travel over to... I like a very thick lining. I think it was like 12 pixels. I currently use 6 pixels for drying. Canada. Since Canada is a stereotype for winter and Christmas, we have some pretty niche celebrations. Like in Ontario, there's this thing called the Santa Claus Parade, which is the largest and longest lasting Christmas parade since 1905. Speaking of Santa Claus, he has an official Canadian citizenship and P.O. box. Here it is. Santa Claus, North Pole, H0, 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 Canada. I ran the numbers, and it's not a real-life location. Go figure.
Alright, well, that wraps up this amazing Christmas video. I wanted to get it out on time. Psych, I'm not done, you little stupid nerd. Get back in the train.
God, if I had like good animation, this would have been a lot cooler. But the vision's there. You can see that there's a vision.
Wait a minute, is that Jack's World on a satellite? Oh my god,
it is.
I've been abandoned in space for 69 days.
Yeah, that's 2 days too long, you know, like 6. I'm not doing it, I'm sorry.
Is that a train? Can I get a ride?
Sure, take a seat. I like your videos.
Did you say something?
Nope. Hey, look at that. We have arrived. Welcome to the ISS. Here's a little factoid. The crew members aboard the International Space Station also like to celebrate Christmas like you and I. They typically wear Santa hats, decorate mini trees, and have little festive socks. My recommendation is that they have little snowball fights inside the station or something like that. On the topic of space celebrations, in 2012, the Mars rover Curiosity sang happy birthday to itself. I watched the video and it's pretty sad when you think about it.
My boy. I wonder if the Curiosity is still like going. I think the Curiosity is dead. I think.
Okay, enough with traditions. I want to talk about movies for a bit because I have a few thoughts. Frosty the Snowman is a classic. However, I find the premise that a walking, talking snowman following a few children around is a bit on the weird end.
P. Frosty.
Do any of you guys remember the SpongeBob Christmas episodes? Is it SpongeBob Christmas and Christmas Who? Those
Absolute
episodes
cinema.
are top tier, and let me explain. In SpongeBob Christmas, you get Don't Be a Jerk, It's Christmas. And in Christmas Who, you get the iconic meme segment where SpongeBob absolutely roasts Squidward.
Paying any attention to the inane dribble that is constantly streaming out of this dunderhead's mouth.
Gee, Squidward, maybe Santa will bring me a dictionary so I can understand what you just said.
What makes the SpongeBob Christmas one more iconic is that it was made entirely through stop-motion animation, which is one of my favorite animation types. Also, I'm going to say this once, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie.
Okay. So, I think Halloween, The Night Before Christmas is both Christmas and Halloween movie. But, if we're talking strictly in the terms of, is it A or B, it is a Halloween movie. I'm about to explain the reasons just here. Because, like, it's... The Christmas is in the title, and I know the plot kind of takes place during Christmas, for a decent chunk of it. But it's a Halloween movie taking over Christmas, essentially. I think the director even said that it was a Christmas movie. I mean, Halloween movie, fuck.
It opens up in a Halloween setting, the main characters are Halloween themed, and the Christmas portion doesn't even come into play till like the end of the movie. Oh yeah, I forgot. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
How and when did you get here?
I just wanted to
when you were
squeeze
talking
in a
about Frosty.
Vlogmations
Also, I
reference.
entered through the window that I broke.
Collab.
Oh, okay.
When are we ending this trip?
We're almost done, and I want to talk about more Christmas stuff. Okay, I'll try and make it quick.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Now my buddy to quarter line.
Get out.
Fucking Michael Reeves reference. What did I do? Oh, there we go. Okay, we are now at the Pen 15 Club. I had it at the Pen 15 Club. I named it the Pen Club recently, so that it's I'm worried that YouTube's gonna like flag it because YouTube has been flagging a lot of stuff recently, and I don't want that to be flagged or like for whatever reason get my channel terminated for whatever reason because YouTube sucks. So I just changed it to the Pen Club just to be safe.
Hey, you want to join the Pen 15 Club?
Heck yeah, what's that?
Penis.
Wow. I need to get this off before the teacher sees.
Yeah. All right, let's get through this. Money is weird. Let's go.
Let's begin by asking a question. What is money?
This video did pretty well. 40 likes, nearly 40 likes. Again, this is another one of my videos where I kind of wish I could made it like better. We're gonna make it just a little bit. Like, if I made this now, it would have been pretty good. I'm not gonna again. I don't plan on remaking it, but like I think like for my older videos, this is pretty good. Yeah.
Is a way of exchanging things for goods and services, also known as trading. But
again, not
civilized.
perfect, but you know.
Okay, I don't want to educate you on stuff that you already know.
It's getting better.
It's
getting better.
Stuff. So I just want to get into the questions because that's a lot more interesting. And if you really did want to learn about money, then the search bar is right there. Oh, and also if you want to subscribe, the button's right down there. So if you want to click it, I'd be very happy. First off, why?
Hey, please subscribe. I'm only at 607. 607. 67. 67.
We have separate currencies. I guess it has to do something with its respective country. But wouldn't it make more sense for all of us to have the same currency everywhere, especially in this modern society? Let's say I want to give a European around 10 Canadian dollars. They'd receive about 6 euros and 86.
Hold on, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that to current inflation rates. $6. Okay, hold on. Canadian to euro. 10. So at the current inflation rate. Hold on. At the current inflation rate, it is approximately $6.20. Yeah, $6.20 is the inflation rate, or conversion rate.
They still get $10, but guess what? The economy is stupid and just goes, hey, we like making these numbers and percentages because we like screwing with you. Which leads me to the next segment, the economy. What is it?
Bullshit. Yeah, money is just what we value it. I feel like the inflation problem is going to suck. I mean, it is sucking right now. I'm just saying it's going to continue sucking even worse in the future. I'm not even out of high school yet, right? I'm going to be out of high school like in a few months, June. And I'm going to be an adult shortly after that. In terms of like responsibilities, and then renting is gonna be a nightmare. Getting a job is gonna be a nightmare. I'm hopeful that the future is gonna turn out good. The pendulum always swings back. The future's never gonna be like the way I see it. Like we're entering dark times. We're kind of in dark times, but it's not as bad. I'm like the pendulum always swings back. It's going to swing back and forth. It always does that. There's the good, there's the bad. It's swinging back, but it's going to swing back. It's going to swing back. It's going to swing back. It's going to take time, but it's going to swing back. But until then, I am concerned that renting is going to be insane. Owning a house is going to be impossible. It's already impossible. 2050. I'm gonna be 40 something. I can't wait to see what the future holds. I am excited for it, but I'm gonna be more cautious about my optimism. But I'm an optimist. I always believe that it's gonna turn out good. Whether I'll be there to experience the good is debatable, but I think pessimism is what's gonna kill our planet if we don't. I'm not saying be delusional about the future. I'm not saying everything's gonna be good. I'm not saying climate change is gonna be fixed immediately. I'm not gonna say the economy is gonna be fixed completely. I'm not gonna say dictatorships are gonna be gone. I'm not gonna say wars are gonna be gone. I'm saying it's not. We're living in the best time for humanity. Our health. We are living the best time for health. We don't have smallpox anymore. Less people are dying. There's less border disputes compared to 100 years ago and 100 years before that. Medicine, that's a good one. Technology, communication, lifespans. People are now living in their 80s, 90s, even 100 years old. 100 years ago, people were only living until like their 80s, and before that, it was like 70s, 60s, 30s. We now know a lot about the universe than we did only 100 years ago. So things are gonna suck, but they'll swing back. So just hold in there. We'll make it out fine.
It's simply just, we make the cash, so you take the cash, so you can spend the cash, and we make more cash, and then it goes in circulation. Then for some reason it usually crashes every few years. The economy usually collapses from stuff like wars, low employment rates, the lack of everyday purchases, or companies falling apart. So I guess this makes sense, but why not print more money? Oh wait, you exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so printing more money makes the value of it go down, not up. Germany learned this the hard way. To simplify what happened, after losing in World War I, Germany needed to pay the Allies for all the damages that they caused. This caused the country to go into some major debt, and since their economy was already on the decline, they decided to print more money. However, that only made it worse. At the end of 1922, the average price of bread cost around 160 marks. That's the normal cost. But then, at the end of 1923, bread would have cost over 200 trillion marks. Another weird thing about money is that we have to pay for everything. Life is like a video game that you have to pay to win. You need to pay for food, water, clothes, and if you live in the States, then basic hospital care. Yeah. Now I get it, we're living in a world where you cannot create stuff out of thin air, but we do have tons of resources, but we just don't.
We do. It's the corporations. We have more than enough resources to feed everyone. We have more than enough resources to fuel the world for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years. But it's these corporations being complete monsters. The billionaire boomers are ruining us, even before I was born. So yeah.
Don't give them away to people because, you know, corporate needs money. Do you know what time it is? It's random money back. The first type of paper money was invented in the
Song Dynasty, not Tang Dynasty.
Tang Dynasty of China. There are only two non-presidents on the United States banknotes. Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill and Alexander Hamilton on the $10 bill. The last time the euro and American dollar became equal was on November 14th, 2022.
That day was also special for two reasons. Because one, the Artemis 1 ship launched, I think, or it was some spaceship. I'm pretty sure it was the Artemis. Launched on that day. I watched it live. I watched it on YouTube. And also the world reached 8 billion people that day. Yeah, I remember I watched the counter go up. I watched the news go be like, yeah, November 14th, 8 billion people.
Despite Canada stopping the production of the penny, it could still be used as legal tender across the country. And yeah, that finishes my video on money. So what's the moral of the story, kids? Is it don't invest in a house in the modern day? Or just because you could print more money does not make it more money? No? Well, alright.
Well, alright. Yeah, that was back when Discord actually had like the number system for, yeah. Okay, the Irish Gold, let's go. My first video when I switched the intro and I started using, I made my character more tan. I don't know, I wouldn't call it white because my other character was white, but this is like human white. Caucasian, I guess.
Arms. The pot of gold I'm searching for should be located at the coordinates of 53.3393120:-6.27145336. Oh wait, it's right here. Let me just grab a few coins and...
Not so fast, greedy one! For you to even lay a finger on these gold coins, you must fight me in a game of rock, paper, scissors. If you win, you get all my coins. If you lose... You die.
Alright, it's not worth the risk. I'm just gonna leave.
Wait, that's not how it's supposed to work.
The chance of me winning this game at random is 1 in 3. The odds would be in your favor. So, today's not my lucky day.
Luck, you say? Did you not look at the calendar? It's March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. So you, in fact, today is your lucky day.
Yeah, I'd rather not die today.
I'll pay you $5 if you play.
Deal.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Well. You won. Fair and square. This pot of gold is yours. No trickery is involved.
Thanks, Dwarfy.
You know each coin is worth $1, right?
Yep.
You can have the entire pot worth $1 million. Why take $2?
I want chips from the dollar store.
Are you stupid or something?
Yeah.
Oh my god, just take the pot.
Fine.
So,
yeah, my fat.
so many chips?
I don't know, a small Irishman.
I called myself out. I'm
just yelling at me.
Alright.
The ocean is both great and great. It has no flaws whatsoever. I have mixed feelings on the ocean. On one hand, it's perfecto, and you can have some incredible ocean antics. And on the other hand, you die. Potentially. Overall,
I don't know, I remember that line so well. Where are we at? Futuristic technology, let's go. Peak. I like this video. It's a fun video. This part, the reason why the quality looks so bad is because I accidentally lost the first half of this video because I deleted a layer, and I was like, crap, I don't want to reanimate this. And so what I did was I actually screen recorded this for like a Discord announcement on my server at the time. And I was like, I have no other way to get the footage back, and so I just pasted the screen recording footage. That's why it looks like garbage.
Hey dude, come over here. What is it? I found this weird looking brick device. Can you scan it? Yeah, sure. It's an early 21st century cellular telephone. The exact year it can be traced to is 2023. Exactly 100 years ago. That's pretty sick, but how do we activate it? I think you press this button and swipe it. Oh hey, there's a video on it. Well, what are you waiting for? Press play.
Press play.
Oh, alright.
I'll do it.
Apple recently announced.
Actually, that intro, by the way, was made on Google Chrome Music Lab. It was the most basic beat ever, and I don't know. I tried recreating it a while ago. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But yeah, little chime. I don't know if it's copyrightable. It's very basic, but I don't know.
Announced their Apple Vision Pro and the many features it had. And while I was watching the announcement, I started to think of many different types of futuristic technology that we already have, or that we have to wait like 10 to 20 years for. Oh, and I also have Sketch here to join me.
I am being forced to against my will.
First things first. Modern computers run on a binary system. Ones and zeros. One means on, and zero means off. The way the code moves around is through transistors. For a while now, computer engineers have been making these transistors smaller and smaller, so they can have faster data and energy. However, recently, we've reached a point where if we make them any smaller, they won't function because of how close the transistors are to each other. Now, what does this have to do with future technology?
I'm trying to see if I can read the lines that well without the subtitles.
Start working on quantum computers.
Why does that kind of look like Patrick Warburton, Joe Swanson, or Kronk, or Ken from the B-movie?
Which don't need to run on a binary system. Instead, quantum computers use qubits, a basic unit of quantum information capable of existing in a superposition of two states simultaneously, unlike classical bits. I'll get into more depth on a superposition later in the video, so just sit tight.
Next up, holograms. Yep, sci-fi technology you saw in Star Wars or Star Trek is becoming a reality. Actually, they do exist in the form of projectors and augmented reality, and yes, even the three-dimensional holograms exist, but they're still in their baby phase.
On the topic of augmented reality, let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro for a sec. You may think the design of the headset looks pretty goofy, and that's kind of the point. Apple is planning on using that as the starting point and just keep advancing it.
So it turns out they stopped the production of the Apple Vision Pro. I think. That's what I heard in the news. I don't know if they fully stopped, but I remember hearing something along the lines of like, oh, we're stopping the production and we're going to like focus. I think they said they're focusing on something else and they're working on something else in the Vision in the future, but it's just a dead project. The thing costs like $3,000. I wouldn't want one. I think just having an Oculus would be fine. I don't have an Oculus either. I've used one multiple times, like friends or whatever. But like Apple Vision Pro is just stupidly expensive. I get the Vision. I guess that's. I get the Vision, but it's. I don't know.
It's time progresses.
Too early, I guess.
Over the past few months, you've most definitely heard of AI chatbots such as
ChatGPT. I use it a lot. I do not use it to write my scripts. I use it to search up. When I research stuff, I take like an article. I'm like, hey, summarize this because I'm too lazy to read through the entire thing. And, like I'm talking about like large articles. In my AI video, we're gonna come across in about like a half hour. I do mention it. I said like a quarter of the work, not even. Even that's way too high. I think like 5% really. But it's not like I'm still writing it. I'm still recording it. I'm still animating it. The AI I only really like in the very like itty bitty like yeah. I get the whole thing like, oh, it uses a lot of water. That was actually something I learned more recently. I didn't realize that it used a lot of water until recently, but it's like there's a lot of other stuff. Like resources are being used left and right from like carbon dioxide like emissions from like I don't know. I know AI doesn't help, but I don't know. I think we have to get better at managing how this. We have to find a better energy source. Really, I get AI's controversies, and I'm going to talk about it again when we get to it. But it has potential. The Pandora's box has already been opened. There's no going back now. So I think all we have to do with AI is just go with it. But we have to make it better. We gotta if we're talking about the environment, we gotta make it good. We gotta have more regulations on it. Again, we'll get to that. Just a whole lot of things, but it's just we gotta. It's already been open. We can't go back. We just kind of have to go with it, but we gotta make it good.
ChatGPT or Bing AI, and if you haven't,
that's now Copilot. Bing AI is now Copilot.
Living under a rock. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about this because you probably already know a lot about it. But I will say this. I'm waiting for the day that OpenAI becomes self-aware and goes Terminator style on everyone, because that will be funny to watch.
Enough of that, get that out of here. Let's move on to Neuralink. Neuralink is a brain-computer company founded by the Twitter troll himself.
Sam, I am so sorry for making you read out Elon Musk glazing. This is before Elon Musk, or just about the time when Elon Musk went, stupid. Back then, Elon Musk was like, "Oh my god, he's cool, sci-fi, technology. He's a cool billionaire. He's amazing." And then it's in 2-3 weeks after this video released, he changed it to Twitter to X. He got all psychotic, and he was a right winger. January 20th, 2025. We all know what happened. Jesus. I mean, I still like Elon Musk's space. I like his technology stuff. Not so much Grok. Grok's pretty stupid. But the space stuff is pretty cool. I like space. But I don't like them. I don't like the person that much anymore. I used to look up to him. Not much anymore.
Elon Musk. And despite the company being founded in July of 2016, it's only got approved by the FDA in May of 2023. Currently, Neuralink is being used in patients with serious brain diseases. However, Elon wants it to be expanded to the public and have people telepathically talking to each other, which will be very crazy.
Now let's move on to more sci-fi-like technology that might be on the horizon sometime soon, such as teleportation. As of now, we can only teleport atoms through quantum mechanics, which is pretty cool. Basically, for an atom to teleport, it would need to be placed in a superposition state, which is the thing I mentioned earlier. Now, what a superposition is, it's when an object is in every possible state of existence at once, and once the object is observed, it becomes one singular state. And what I just described is pretty much what Schrödinger's cat is. The cat is alive and dead while inside the box, and becomes one singular state when opened. Anyway, going back a bit, for an atom to be put in a superposition, it would need to be observed, and once observed, it could be teleported to wherever using some fancy tech stuff.
Okay, I did not understand a single word you just said, but anyway, let's talk about hyperloops.
That project got discontinued in December 2023. Again, another news article that I saw. God damn it, Elon. You gotta stop making hyperloops. You gotta focus all that energy on Grok. Hey Grok, summarize this video for me. Hey Grok, can you jerk it for me?
It is a concept of future transportation similar to modern-day SkyTrains, and it is advocated for by none other than Elon Musk. Who would have guessed? Unlike trains, there will be cubes of pods that will be propelled by magnets and pressurized air, and will reach insane speeds.
They need to expand it to the rest of the
Elon
valley,
proposed a route that would follow the United States Highway I-5 that goes from San Diego, California, all the way to Blaine, Washington. The normal trip would take 22 hours by car. However, if you took the Hyperloop at a max speed of 1,220 kilometers per hour...
Yeah, just at a regular max speed, 1,220 kilometers an hour. That's fine. Just really good speed. Just a casual trip.
You would arrive in Blaine in around 1 hour and 48 minutes. Hey, is this nerdy video gonna end soon? I gotta go back to my home in the UK and start drinking my tea and biscuits.
Yeah, I guess I could end the video here. So what technology are you looking forward to in your lifetime? If you could create anything for your daily life, what would it be and why? Tell me in the comment section below.
I'm still here.
Oh my god, just get in the portal. We've been through this 8 times.
Tastes good like soul food. Parked up outside in the old school. The new me back with the OU. The dog always find his way back home, and it's so true.
W-Sod. Where are we at now? We are now at the internet is pretty cool. 2023.
If you are any of the recent generations, you'd agree.
Gen Beta is born this year, by the way, guys. Generation Beta, 2025 to 2039. And then Gamma and then Delta.
The internet is a very important thing. It quite literally powers almost every aspect of modern society. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to talk about all the cool things about the internet, including its history and some random stuff I found or thought of while researching this topic. The internet wasn't founded by a single person or entity, however it was founded through many different types of scientists and researchers over the decades. Its origins can trace back to the United States Department of Defense, and more specifically the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. DARPA was founded in 1958, and in 1969 ARPANET was founded. ARPANET was first used to deal with military purposes like, preventing military attacks against the United States. It wasn't until the 1990s when the internet started to become widespread. At the age of 38, a Giga Chad known as Tim Berners-Lee was like, alright, I'm gonna make some sick code that'll make this internet thing enter the public. And on April 30th, 1993, Tim would make the world's first web browser. World Wide Web. If you're a millennial, you would have remembered. However, I was fortunate enough to be born in the 2000s and never had to live with that. Dial-up was the method used to connect to the internet by using your house's phone line and then produce an analog signal through it. But the problem with this is that if someone wanted to make a phone call, that would script the internet signal and then you'd have a bad connection. Fortunately, in 1997, wireless connection to the internet, also known as Wi-Fi, was created, so now you wouldn't have to deal with all these messy cords. Okay, history lesson over. Now let's fast forward to the present. How about when COVID-19 started? How was school or college? Not great, I'll tell you that. You didn't get the chance to socialize or give your friend a high five or a hug because you were locked inside. The internet was there to give you Zoom or Teams or whatever to call your classmates and do work from the comfort of your own bed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also it's my... Jesus. This is my French teacher holding up an iPad. I remember him like going around his house being like just talking to us. And we got put up in little breakout rooms. That's in the thing. Yeah, I hated that. Like, you know, I'll talk about it when we get to there in the next video.
However, for me, I only had to deal with online classes from March to June 2020 because in the fall I was sent to middle school, needing to wear masks, carry a bottle of hand sanitizer, and stay 6 feet away from people. Alright, let's see what else I could talk about. When the internet began its popularity in the 90s, it was quickly viewed as a fad or just a trend.
Yep.
I found an image of a newspaper from the early 2000s by the Daily Mail saying this.
The
internet may just be a passing fad as millions give up on it. I attempted to find the full article, but could only find the start of it on images, so here it is.
Shane.
The internet may be only...
They slap by looking at his computer like that. I know it's not impossible, but I mean, like, for me...
What is this commentary?
For me, it just looks uncomfortable. I don't think I could talk about the internet without talking about memes. So let's talk about them. Memes have been around.
Wait, memes.
I don't think I could talk about the internet without talking about memes.
Let's see. What are some... So this is a mix of like 2010s memes along with like 2022, 2022 memes. I guess. Rip Joe Bartolozzi. I still watch his content. And then Ivan in the Hills. Mr. Beast. The crying meme. Family Guy. I am a surgeon. I forgot about that. I am a surgeon. That is nearly 3 years old. What the hell? What else is happening during this time? The Nick A30 Subway Surfers gameplay. We still have that 3 years later. Yeah. And then there was like the Hood Irony meme. There's a few other stuff. I just can't remember what it was. But yeah.
So let's talk about them.
Bro, brain rot didn't exist back then. This is like the early stages of AI. 2023 was the AI year, but like it was like the birth of AI, you know, the birth of AI year. 2024, 2025. I remember people were like, "Oh, 2025 is such a year of AI," but I'm like, I'm pretty sure that like oh, well, 2025 is definitely the year of AI because it got so much better. But it's like it's gonna get better forever. It's gonna always get better. Each new year is gonna be the year of AI. I'm calling it now. They're gonna be like 2026 is the year of AI, 2027 year of AI, 28, 29, 2030. Yeah, 2030 year of AI. But no, I'm pretty no. 2023 to me was the year of AI because 2022 that's when ChatGPT was made, but it was like no one really knew about it. 2023 is definitely when it like just blew up in popularity. But that's it. That's me.
Memes have been around since like the beginning of the internet, but they wouldn't become mainstream until like the mid 2000s. For example, some of these memes were like Nyan Cat, Chocolate Rain, those flashy color ones, and the memes like the top and bottom text and
Chocolate
bottom
Rain.
text ones, and the memes flashy color rain, Nyan Cat, Chocolate Rain.
Yeah, that was a good meme. I think that was before I was even bored, but I listened to it. It's like that's a good song. Chocolate Rain. I'm not even gonna attempt to sing it. I don't even know the lyrics.
And those flashy color ones and the memes like the top and bottom text, and those became really popular and they like spread like wildfire. From what I can tell, memes have become
wildfires that year.
Less of haha joke funny and more based on reality and mockery. And
memes have not evolved since this. They've yeah. I have noticed a more positive up like in memes recently. They're becoming more like joy maxing. Maybe that's my For You page. I've tried to like make it more positive. I don't like trying to get rid of all the negative stuff. You know, I can leave that stuff for not my doom scrolling. But yeah, we're doing joy scrolling, not doom scrolling.
Instead of all those flashy memes from the 2010s, in the 2020s you get people making fun of tragic events.
Yeah. I wonder what recent tragic event people are making fun of. Yeah. Rest in peace. But like the memes are kind of funny. Not of his making fun of this person. You know who I'm talking about. If you don't know who I'm talking about, just ask the comments. But making fun of this person as a person, that's funny. Making fun of this person's death, that's not funny. But the person is a
2015, if you wanted to make a 9/11 joke, people would be like, it's too soon. You can't joke about that. But in 2023, I can't scroll past 3 videos lifting a slideshow of like 9/11, Nazis, or Ocean Gate.
I don't know why my For You page was like that. It was just cursed. But my For You page is better now. It's just brain rot. Literally, just go to my TikTok. Hold on, I'm gonna do this right now. What? I don't know. The reposts are just brain rot, SpongeBob stuff, or Epstein.
Could you please give us your name? Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Do you see my echo? My life is.
It's funny, I didn't get a chance to because, what happened? I remember now. I'm trying to save the world from annihilation, are you nuts? It's funny,
After Big Yahoo hops on FaceTime with the BlackRock CEO to discuss a business proposal, the girls pulled off a career-ending prank on Yahoo by revealing his Jode.
Or some other current meme that's been trending. Alright, this video is getting a bit too long, and I want to make it up before September. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on October 1st with Halloween 3. See you later.
Halloween through the trilogy, let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode of the Halloween series. You may grab a snack, maybe a drink, and get cozy because this is Halloween 3, the
1 hour and 40 minutes.
Trilogy.
So the end of the Halloween series. My friends and I did go trick-or-treating again in 2024 and 2025. That's it. I might be making Halloween videos again this year. That's kind of like a final, like, we're done. Because we're gonna be adults next year, and my friends are like, we should make another video, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Every year I know I said I'll stop, but I kept doing it. In 2024 I did not make a video. I made a history video. That's not a series video, but I'll do a Halloween 4 and 5, 2026, maybe. But yeah.
Alright, where do we start?
We're not hanging out in 2023.
Perfect. Around late spring of 2022, me and my friends were in science class talking about how Halloween worked this year.
Grade 8 science class. Who was my teacher? Mr. Murphy. He was alright. He was nice. He's a really laid back teacher as far as I can remember. Yeah, he was laid back. But I think it was because I don't know. He was a chill guy. The work was like stupid easy.
As usual, we planned to go trick-or-treating at Nugget's house because it was tradition, as we called it, and planned to bring everyone who went to the first Halloween to go for this year. But Halloween is right around the corner and everything was going to be alright.
I fast forward too far.
Fast forward around like 5 months and it was late October. I was pretty happy that Halloween is right around the corner and everything was going to be alright. But I received a message from one of my friends saying that they wouldn't be able to go to Halloween this year because he had plans. I was a bit worried. Not much about my friend not being able to go, but it was more about the fact that he was my way to go to Nugget's house in the first place. So, you know, like, stuff. Alright, no problem. I'll just ask Cheese for a ride. Alright, never mind. He's going out with other people.
Yeah, so Cheese went out. Cheese went out with other people. Hutchin, he actually went out with my other friends. But yeah, you do not want to hang out.
After that, I'd ask multiple people for transport. And when I checked the...
Yeah, that's a problem when you're 14. Don't have a license. I only got my license this 2025, but don't have a car. Yeah, but it's fine. I'm not really looking forward. Morning. I don't need a car. I got public transport anyway.
Of October 31st. The lunch bell rang and I bolted out the door and went searching for Nugget. and I asked him, "Alright, I know your mom said you couldn't drive people around, but is it possible I can hitchhike with you when school ends?" He said we could try it, but it wouldn't really be likely. Once school ended, we tried it, and it did not work. I went home pretty bummed out, and I sat on my bed watching Bruce 2 as the sun began to set, and I started to worry if Halloween 3 would even happen in the first place. Wait a sec, I think I could just call Fry and see if I can hitch a ride with him. What's up? Hey, Fry, hear me out. I need to get a ride.
I still have that profile picture on Discord. I've changed it a lot since then, but it's usually my default picture whenever it's like not the holidays or whatever.
The Nuggets house, and
I don't know why it is. It's actually, hold on, I'll show you. Actually, I can just pull it up right here. I'm gonna blur everything out, but like this is my profile. It's Kingpin from Spider-Man.
Last resort. Do you think I can catch a ride with you? Maybe. I'll need to ask my mom because she isn't home right now.
Yeah, so I actually played copyrighted music, but I muted the scene, but I just wanted to read the copyright claim. It was fine. I didn't have to worry about it, but I just don't want to, like, again, it's just YouTube being stupid. But yeah.
At 5:30, we finally hop in, so just follow me. Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on, I want to read that. Motherfuckers usually tell you that the Ohio jokes were still funny. They never were. Okay, this is me being a liar. I did find the Ohio jokes funny in 2022, but my friend told me that they were like unfunny, and I just blindly followed that. I mean, they were not funny, but I remember being like, oh yeah, they're funny. But my friend was like, no, they're not. I was like, okay, they're not. But yeah, bro. This frame was made May 27, 2023. You never asked for this information. Your balls will explode July 29th, 2025.
Oh yeah, I was playing Terraria earlier. That's cool. At 5:30, we finally hop in the car and we're on our way. We arrive at 6, and after chilling for a bit, we officially start our adventure to get as much candy, drugs, and alcohol as possible. And one of our first encounters, we meet this guy in an Easy Bike costume. And
oh yeah, my friend still loves this scene.
we did a normal trick-or-treat, and the guy says, so what are you guys dressed up as? I can't really see because this mask is kind of blurry.
Yeah.
And I reply with, oh, I'm just a stick man. And my guy says the most devious thing possible. Bro, you don't even need to wear a costume, you're skinny enough as it is.
I didn't portray it exactly how it went, mainly because, again, fuzzy memory. But it was a lot funnier in person, right? I'd be like, yeah, you don't need to wear a costume. You're like a skinny guy. There's like, yeah, it was joking fun. I thought it was funny, you know, making fun of my height and skinniness. I am 5'5", by the way, or 167 centimeters. That's not even a joke.
Yo, guys, we should head down the sketchy alleyway.
And I made this random bit about like Pennywise, even though it's like, I mean, obviously it's a joke, never happened, but it's like, this is kind of stupid anyway.
I'll take one. No, Fry, actually, you know what? Go ahead. Well, on the road, we saw some fireworks in the distance, which was pretty nice, and after that, we started...
Yeah.
Sorry, not long after, we saw Hotel Transylvania playing on the projector outside, and Nugget, Fry, and I just kind of watched it for a few minutes. Fry eventually got tired and then headed to the house, which left me and Nugget to walk without him. Nugget and I decided to go to houses that we were previously at because we had nothing else to do, and this one guy, he seemed to get tired of just handing out candy, so to speed up the process, he just gave me and Nugget like a ton of candy, so that was our jackpot of the night. After that, Nugget and I went to his house, and we ended our adventure. So, that's that. And goodbye, roll the credits. I don't know. See ya.
So,
adventure. So,
this video was intended to be the channel finale because in early 2023, I was just getting like kind of bored of YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that I was like kind of going with, like not depressed or anything, but it was more just like kind of stressed of like random stuff. But also I was just kind of getting bored of it. But that only lasted like a month or two, or 3 or whatever. And I was like, I'm just gonna continue to make, because I was just like, I'm getting sick of this. But then I was just like, actually, no, I'm not. I guess I just needed a break, I guess, for whatever reason. And so in like June 2023, I was like, I'm gonna get back into this. And so I made Halloween 3 months in advance, right? I wrote it out, and it was gonna be the final episode. I had like scheduled. It's a very weird like overlapping thing, But the futuristic tech video, that was me going back to making YouTube videos. And now and obviously since I've decided, like, if I ever decide that I'm getting bored of YouTube, I'm just gonna go silent and then go back to making YouTube videos. I like YouTube. I'm gonna continue doing it. I don't have any plans to quit anytime soon. If I am having gaps between uploads, it's gonna be because I'm busy with like life or like work and school and stuff like that. So it's not me quitting. It's literally having to deal with more important stuff. So, I mean, until YouTube, like, I want you to be, I want to do this as like a job, but the sub count isn't too promising. But even if I don't, I'm still gonna do it for the fun of it. So yeah.
That's
but anyway,
it.
yeah.
Goodbye. Roll the credits.
I'm still here.
I don't know.
5 years later. But we're not done yet because we still have many more videos to go through. All right, we're in the home stretch. No, we are not. We have a lot more. The creepiest people in history.
Starting its first revolution. It's October now, and that means
I love this animation, dude. This is like I stepped up my game here.
It's October now, and that means Spooky Month is in session. I mean, I already made a Halloween themed video, but that's part of a series, so it doesn't really count. Anyway, so today I'm with Vlogmations to talk about the most spooky people in history. So let's begin in random order. Vlad Dracula was born in Shigaswara, Transylvania, sometime during late fall of 1431. He was the son of Vlad Dracul, the voivode of Wallachia. When he was 11 years old, Vlad was taken as an Ottoman hostage by Murad II. Vlad's dad and eldest brother were killed 5 years later when Vlad was just 16 years old. In his adult life, Vlad would go on to do extremely horrible things like kill a bunch of people for the funnies. His deadliest attack would be the Battle of Targovist. For context, in 1453, Constantinople fell, causing Sultan Mehmed II to expand his territory of the Ottoman Empire. In 1462, the battle actually happened and ended with casualties on the Ottoman side reaching up to 15,000 dead and only 5,000 dead on the Wallachia.
Why am I being suggested this video? I've noticed for a couple videos now, this has been in my inbox. I started talking about Trump and it just started appearing in my inbox. And same with this Breaking Bad one.
Aside. Vlad left all the Ottoman bodies impaled on spikes that would show anyone who arrives how much of a threat he really was. However, the battle didn't mean Vlad won, it was actually the Ottomans. As you can probably guess, Vlad Dracula was the inspiration for the 1897 book called Dracula, and almost a century later, Count Chocula was invented. It is now one of my favorite serials.
I have not had that in a
Alright,
while.
next up, Jack the Ripper.
Britain in the 19th century. What a time to be alive. It covered a majority of the world's land, it was the height of the Victorian era, and a deranged serial killer was on the loose. The first report of the mysterious man was around midnight on August 31st, 1888. There was this woman. Her name was Marianne Nichols. Nichols was out at the pub drinking. She went home, realized she was poor, and went back on the streets to do some certain activities for money. Later in the night, she goes on a walk and gets killed sometime between 2:30 to 3:10 a.m. A man walking on the side of the road notices Nicole's corpse and calls the cops. One of the initial suspects was Montague John Durrett. However, he was later proven not to be the killer. While all this was happening, he would send out letters to the victims to taunt them. Jack the Ripper would later go on to kill a total of 5 people, but we still don't know the actual amount to this day.
In 1905, Russia was just starting its first revolution, and at the same time, Tsar Nicholas II's son, Alexei, was suffering from hemophilia, a disease that would make it difficult for the body to have blood clots, which would make a small cut a huge mess. Anyway, the Russian court members brought in their new friend who could allegedly heal people with his magic powers, and his name was Grigory Rasputin. Good news, after a while, Alexei was healed. But enough about Alexei, we're talking about Rasputin. After the healing, Rasputin continued to stick around the Russian family, and many believed that he was sleeping with Nicholas's wife, Alexandria.
So, yeah.
These rumors weren't actually confirmed, but they were fueled by Rasputin's weird behavior and just
oversimplified
overall skepticism from the public. Despite all this, his presence was still growing within the Russian court along with the hatred for him, and he soon got the nickname the Mad Monk because many believed that he was at the helm of all of this. Then he abruptly died in December of 1916 after getting thrown in a river.
We all know the Bloody Mary challenge, right? Go in front of the mirror, say her name 3 times, and you see her. Well, where did this originate from? Mary the First, of course. For historical context, Mary was the 5th child that Henry VIII had, however the first one that surpassed child mortality. In her adult years, when she was the queen, Mary was a huge Catholic and really hated Protestants, which is a different branch of Christianity. She hated Protestants to the point where she had them burnt to death. She tried to change England into a Catholic country, but failed to do that. And she also tried to kill her cousin out of fear she would take over. At this point, people were sick of her actions, and it wasn't a secret. So then people got together and burnt her alive. Nah, I'm kidding. Mary would actually die at the age of 42 in 1558 from possibly womb cancer.
Sure.
How does this link with the ritual? It's unclear, but it's believed to form around the early 1900s, with people bringing a candle in a bathroom and chanting Bloody Mary's name. But I think you know the rest. It got popular in the mid-2010s with 3 a.m. challenges, yada yada.
Oh, cost. This is back like during the
But I think you know the rest. It got popular in the mid-2010s with...
Yeah, the early, that was a 2022 meme. Or 2023 meme. This from like the early stages of AI. Again, like AI was pretty good in 2023. I mean, it wasn't perfect, right? You know, there's still like a couple like, you know, tech stuff. But I mean, AI can do that better now, but still.
With 3 a.m. challenges, yada yada, YouTube clickbait.
To finish off this video, I'm going to talk about H.H. Holmes, one of America's earliest serial killers. Holmes' real name was Herman Webster Mudgett, so I'll just refer to him as Herman because Herman is a funny name. Herman was born on May 16, 1861 in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. In the case of most serial killers, in his early life, Herman was victim to his father's physical abuse and punishments. Herman was a really good student in school, and he also had an interest in death, which isn't really a good combination because he soon decided that dissecting animals was his favorite hobby. He grew up, went to university, graduated and got a medical degree and also lied about being a doctor. Herman's first victim was Julia Connors, his mistress. With limited information I could gather, it seems like Herman's motive to kill Julia was that he wanted to cover up his affairs. He decided to kill a few extra people and commit more crimes like fraud, forgery, and worst of all, horse theft. He was later executed in 1891 by hanging.
I do actually like the joke. The joke's
So what's the point of this video? I don't know, I was bored. I just realized it was October and I was like, boom, bada bang, this video idea was made. I don't have much else to say other than go check out Halloween 3 the Trilogy and happy holidays.
Don't forget to watch Christmas Movies 3 on December 16th!
That never happened. Vlogmations, you a liar. I mean, I think he said like it was like just too much, just like you didn't have enough time for it. Which is unfortunate, but yeah. False advertising.
It tastes good like soul food. Parked up outside in the old school.
Alright, where are we at now? We are now at, it's the Creepiest, not Creepiest, Canada during the World Wars. Yeah, scrap product made in July. Don't want the effort to go to waste. Yeah. Remembrance Day.
This video was supposed to be me talking about the atrocities Canada committed in its history, but I couldn't stretch out the script that much, so instead I'll talk about what Canada did during the World Wars, because that's a lot more interesting, and it covers a lot more. And I can still include my original script, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. I don't know if I'm using that metaphor right. Also, I won't bother putting this in exact order, but regardless, let's begin. The year was 1914. A Serbian man named Gavrilo Princip assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28th. Austria-Hungary blamed the assassination on Serbia and then a month later declared war on them, and then boom, World War I began. It was the Allies versus the Central Powers, and this is where
they were not called the Allies, they were called the Triple Entente.
Start with Canada. Canada joined the war on August 4th, 1914, following the declaration of war by the United Kingdom against Germany.
I don't think it was that. I think it was something slightly different, but it was more or less the same thing.
Being under the British dominion,
the borders weren't actually, yeah, the borders were like that. It was because Russia controlled Alaska. Yeah.
Canada's decisions were solely made by the British government. The first battle Canada fought in was the Second Battle of Ypres in October of 1914. This was caused by the Germans throwing lethal...
God, that is terrifying. Look at that.
Chlorine gas at the Allied soldiers, and it was at this moment that chemical weapons started being a prominent thing in wars. Even though the Germans were also outnumbering the Canadians still managed to win the fight, and the other countries praised Canada for being so good at fighting. In May of 1915, Canada participated in the Battle of Festubert as part of the larger Second Battle of Artois. The British Army launched an attack in the Artois region of France, preceded by a 3-day bombardment against the Germans. However, the German defenses were not significantly damaged, resulting in limited progress and a British defeat. During Christmas of the same year, some of the Germans were like, "Merry Christmas, Canadians," while waving a box of cigars around. However, the Canadian soldiers decided to aim at the Germans and just kill them. In one instance during the war, Canadian soldiers decided to use really extreme brutality in the trenches. They used grenades, they used machine guns, they used bayonets, and sometimes resorted to just stabbing the Germans, which was horrific. In a different attempt to gain trust with the Canadians, German soldiers threw a can of corned beef to the Canadian trenches, and in return the Canadians decided to give them a big old pile of grenades as a gesture of goodwill.
And then I got bored of making the video, and so I scrapped it.
SpongeBob, what time is it? Yeah! What the hell? Ah! No!
I love that video. We are now on... Now we're in the home stretch. We got the last couple of years.
Karl Marx. He was born in Trier, Germany in the year 1818 and was of Jewish descent. He had far-left radical views and thought that Germany and Europe as a whole were corrupt and needed some change. He believed that society was unfair and that there was a ton of injustice, and in 1848, Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto. Marx would later die 35 years later in March of 1883 at the age of 64 years old. However, his idea of communism would continue long after his death and would later get picked up by good old-fashioned Vladimir Lenin. Lenin shared the same far-left ideology as Marx and decided, hey, what if I made Marx's idea into an actual country? Nothing could go wrong at all. Spoiler alert, it would. You see, on November 6, 1917, Lenin launched the October Revolution. Wait, you said this took place on November 6th? Yeah, but the Russians were using the old-style calendar, which was October 25th, 1917. I'm saying November 6th to match our current calendar system. Alrighty then, I see. I don't know what I was doing with that voice. Anyway, Lenin thought it was a good idea to overthrow and take control of the previous Tsar government, which was led by Nicholas II. In the end, the Bolsheviks won the revolution, and this kicked off the Russian Civil War. This would last from November 7th, 1917, all the way up till June 16, 1923. This would all result in the Bolsheviks winning. A few months before the Civil War ended, Lenin already established the newly formed Soviet Union on December 30th, 1922. Even though the USSR was already established in 1922, many other nations wouldn't recognize it until years after formation. The reason? Well, people weren't particularly fans of the whole abolish capitalism thing the communists were setting up. Also, the fact that the United States was largely turning a blind eye to the whole
Sort of. They weren't really interfering with it. This video, I wouldn't say it's entirely inaccurate. I'd say it's highly oversimplified. Not in a good way.
Evolution. Uh-oh, it's the new year and Lenin just died of possibly a stroke or poisoning on January 21st, 1924. Now, the Soviet Union needed someone to fill in the rank of leader, and unfortunately, Joseph Stalin was like, hey, wouldn't this be perfect? And just took the job. Now, why was this unfortunate? It was because that Lenin hated him and thought that if the Soviet Union was under his control, it would only make it worse. And well, he was right. Stalin would take control a few months later in April, and for the next few years, the Soviet Union was suffering from an economic crisis, food shortages, and lacking industrialization. Stalin pretty much said that this sucks and made the amazing 5-year plans to make the USSR into a bustling nation. Which failed.
What failed was that it was just like, well, okay, he got what he wanted. He wanted power, but like, you know, he's just a dictator. Stalin's evil, and so is Hitler, right? That's, you know, grass is green, obvious. But a lot of people on Twitter are like, oh, well, Joseph Stalin wasn't that bad. I'm like, yes, he was. He killed like 80 million people. What do you mean? They're both evil monsters. And people are like... The reason why people treat communism as less bad as fascism, as far as I can tell, is that we fought with the communists. Like, again, fascists are evil. Nazis are evil. Communists are also evil, right? Like, the idea of communism, like, oh, everyone's equal and whatnot. I don't have a problem with that specifically. But it's like... It never works. It's not going to work, right? We live in a greedy society, right? But it's like, although capitalism has its major flaws, I'm saying generally it worked out the most. It's very flawed. A lot of problems with it. But like, it's less bad than communism in practice.
By 1933, the United States finally recognized the USSR after 17 years of being completely ignorant of its existence. What made the United States finally recognize the Soviet Union was that President Roosevelt thought if they did, it would slow down Japanese expansion in East Asia, and also the US would have better relationships with the communist nations, so, you know, just a little bonus. Hey, it's the late 1930s calling, and Nazi Germany is eyeing up its neighbors, and it was like, damn, Czechoslovakia is looking hella sexy, now I need to cop some of that. And so Germany did. In 1938, Britain, France, Italy, and Germany signed an agreement that Germany could annex the German ethnic side of Czechoslovakia, but since it was Hitler signing the agreement, he took all of it. Anyway, the Soviet Union stopped friendship with Germany, leading to the co-signing of the Non-Aggression Pact. In simpler terms, it meant we don't attack each other, maintaining our influence within Poland. The Germans, and soon the Soviets, invaded Poland in just 35 days from September 1st, 1939, all the way to October 6th. And then World War II happened, but this video isn't about World War II. In 1941, the Germans launched Operation Barbarossa, which would help them achieve more Lebensraum. Their operation was a partial success because they basically led the Soviets right back to Moscow, but then the Soviets pushed the Nazis back and then more battles happened. World War II began to die down when the Italians shot and beat up Mussolini, Hitler killed himself, and the United States dropped their bombs on Japan. Or at least that's a simplified version of what happened. Point is, the Allies won. Yay!
No one knows simplified, he's better.
Now we enter the end of part 1. Wait, what the? I didn't sign up for part 2s? Do you want this video up by January? Yeah? Then I'm splitting this into 2 parts. Also, I'm not even sure this part will make it out on time. My god.
Check the time. Year anniversary of my channel, so 2 years ago, nearly. Well, you're seeing this 2 years ago. Never mind, you get the idea. So anyway, yeah, the video sources. I'm not gonna read the entirety of this, but because I read it before, but it's just kind of like correcting each thing, little nitpicks. Which I mean, I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. I'm like, you know, always criticize, always correct information that's like wrong, you know. But yeah, I thought I already had the heart. I don't know why I remember the heart, but yeah. I did take that into account making the when I made the second video, I already recorded it and animated a bit of it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it just to kind of finish it off. But yeah.
And we're
probably
back.
the worst video.
Alright, where were we? Oh yeah, the beginning of the Cold War. So right after World War II, the Allies had a lot of work to do. So here's what they did. They established the United Nations in 1945, they expanded their nuclear arsenal, and Germany was split in two by 1949. And Berlin was split by a wall in 1961. West Germany was under control by the West, Britain, France, and the US, and East Germany was under control by the USSR. Berlin was split because the Soviets already managed to take control of East Germany because of the Second World War. They gave half of it to the West because they thought that they would get it back later, which never happened. If you want a detailed reason, Google is free. By this time, the United States was already fearing the spread of communism and they wanted to contain it as much as possible. After the war, the USSR pulled back its relationships with the West, and in 1946, Churchill made the claim that an Iron Curtain has descended upon the European continent. The following year, the Truman Doctrine was signed, and it was basically like, yeah, communism is bad, and we should just make sure it does not spread over here. One of the first conflicts in the Cold War was the Berlin blockade. The blockade was caused by the USSR's weird logic, and they thought by blocking ground supply routes from West Germany to Western Berlin, they could force the Allies and NATO to abandon the city.
But they were like, we're gonna go over. That's what their plan was.
In the end, the USSR stopped the blockade, as it clearly hadn't stopped the Allies to leave the city.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the proxy wars in Korea and Vietnam were happening. This caused the US to panic, and in an effort to contain communism, they directly intervened with the conflicts for freedom. The Korean War was an attempt for North Korea to unite the peninsula under a communist regime and the South under a capitalist regime. They pushed the South Koreans out of Seoul all the way to the port city of Busan, however the United States intervened with the conflict. Eventually, the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed on July 27, 1953, which established a demilitarized zone near the 38th parallel. The Vietnam War played very different than the Korean War. Instead of two professional forces facing off, it was pretty much just the North Vietnamese bullying the South into submission. The US tried to help, but due to pressure back home, they left, which ultimately left the North Vietnamese to win. Cuba in the 1960s would play a very vital role in the near destruction of the entire world. You see, there's this guy, Fulgencio, I don't know how to pronounce his name. You see, there was this guy,
Fulgencio Batista.
He was the former dictator of Cuba, but was overthrown in 1959 by...
Okay, so when I looked up... Get out of here. Oh, I thought I closed this video already. There we go. I thought Fidel Castro died in like the 80s or something. I did not realize that he died like in 2016.
By Fidel Castro, who would establish a communist regime right outside the United States' back door of the Caribbean. Safe to say the United States wasn't really happy about this, so they immediately started training exiled counter-revolutionaries from Cuba, which were overseen by the CIA. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Soviets shot down a plane over Cuba, and officers inside a nearby submarine thought that war broke out and began the process to launch a torpedo. However, the authorization needed 3 people, and one man, Vasily, refused to authorize the decision and spare the world from nuclear war. The day before the U.S. planned to invade Cuba, an agreement was made where the U.S. would pull their missiles from Turkey and the Soviets would do the same from Cuba, thus ending the Cuban Missile Crisis. Okay, so as much as I want to talk about it, I'll have to save some time and brush over the space race a little bit. The USSR launched the first artificial satellite into space called Sputnik in 1957, and 4 years later they sent up Yuri Gagarin in 1961. The United States landed Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon in 1969, and pretty much just said that they won the space race, even though they didn't really do the other achievements. Mikhail Gorbachev was the last leader of the USSR from 1985 to 1991. Unlike the previous leaders of the Soviet Union, he was a pretty stand-up guy mostly. He decided...
Yeah, that scene was funny. Let's replay that. Replay that one more time.
He was a pretty...
Yeah. It's because someone commented, Lenin didn't hate Stalin. That's partially not right, because in my video I was like, Lenin didn't like Stalin, which I wasn't wrong. He liked Stalin. He made him like his general secretary or whatever. But towards the end of his lifespan, he started to not like him, and then he was like, because I think he saw Stalin as like a guy who wanted power, and he did, and so he was more worried. But he was like, well, he couldn't do much. He was on his deathbed, so yeah.
Pretty stand-up guy mostly. He decided to make some reforms to better the union's economic and political stability. However, thanks to these reforms, another man named Boris Yeltsin decided to go behind his back and 3, 2, 1 dissolve the Soviet Union and form the Russian Federation. Okay, it wasn't that quick, but it pretty much was. What really went down was that one by one, each member of the USSR announced that they were exiting from the Union. The last one to leave was Kazakhstan on December 16, 1991. And officially on December 26, 1991, the USSR fell into different nations, the largest being the Russian Federation. Today, communism in Russia and its former USSR territories has almost completely disappeared.
Although they pretty much act the same.
And now in 2024, Russia is fighting a war with Ukraine, and in the Middle East, there's the Israel-Palestine thing going on.
Yeah, that's Israel-Palestine. Yeah. I don't really care for either of those countries.
And, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not making videos on those. Alright, goodbye. See ya.
Okay, what are we at now? We are now at Mars, I'm pretty sure. Mars, okay.
Let's talk about some things about Mars. The first rover to land on Mars was the Sojourner, which is part of the Mars Pathfinder mission. After a 7-month journey, Sojourner was dropped off at the Ares Vallis on July 4th, 1997. And once it landed, its goal was simple: explore Mars' surface and calculate the data of the atmosphere. Another main reason why Sojourner was launched was that NASA wanted to prove that they could produce a faster, better, and cheaper way to make a spacecraft. This would end up being true because the Pathfinder mission ended up being much faster and less costly to carry out than previous missions. In the morning of October 7th, 1997, Sojourner sent out its final signal. NASA signaled the rover to head to the lander base, but there was no indication if it ever made it or not. The next rover on Mars was Spirit. Over 5 years after the Sojourner essentially just died, the Spirit rover was next in line and launched on June 10th, 2003. After another 7-month trip, it landed on Mars in January of 2004. Spirit landed inside of the Gusev crater with its core objective being find evidence of past water on Mars. And guess what? One of the first major discoveries by the Spirit rover was the detection of carbonate materials inside of various rocks, which suggests that warm water used to be a thing inside of the planet. Spirit would later detect a, quote, water signature material called gothite inside of Martian bedrock. Anyway, 7 years after landing on Mars, Spirit would get its communication cut off by NASA on May 25th, 2011. So that's enough of rovers. Let's talk about, wait, hold on, I need to think.
Here is a list of topics to talk about for your Mars video.
Let's talk about some Martian moons. Mars has 2 moons, Deimos and its close orbiting moon, Phobos. Deimos has a diameter of 12.4 kilometers and takes about 30 hours to orbit Mars. Phobos is slightly larger at 22.2 kilometers in diameter and can orbit Mars 3 times in one day. Mars has the largest mountain in the solar system called Olympus Mons, which is named after the Greek mountain, Mount Olympus. It's roughly the same size as Poland, and its highest elevation being 21.9 kilometers. Anyway, the most recent rover sent to Mars was the Perseverance, which launched on July 30th, 2020. Perseverance took, you guessed it, another roughly 7-month trip and landed within the Jezero crater on February 18th, 2021. Hey, that's just 4 days after my channel was created. Perseverance's goal is to find evidence of ancient life and collect rock samples to keep if it ever returns to Earth. So far, Perseverance has done a lot. Here's some highlights. It found volcanic rocks in the crater where it landed. Some scientists think that the crater used to be some sort of lava flow that caused the rocks to be put there, while others suggest that it could have just been the wind that moved them. The other highlight is less of a finding and more just interesting. Perseverance has managed to record a 24-hour-long playlist of sounds on Mars. Scientists noticed that when listening to the sound that it played much slower than it is here on Earth. This is due to the planet's thin atmosphere that is mostly made up of carbon dioxide, which slows down the speed of sound. Anyway, that's it about Mars. I got nothing else to say other than happy July, or June if I'm lucky, and enjoy your summer.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just like, there's not really much to comment on that video. It's just like an okay. This video blew up. This became my most popular video for a while, up until my politics video. But yeah.
Venus, Earth, Mars.
81 likes. Not bad at all.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are the 8 planets in the solar system. You should know this. However, some of you born prior to 2006 might remember Pluto being the 9th planet. Except for me, because I was born in 08. The reason why it's no longer considered one is because this little organization called the IAU decided to redefine what a planet is. If you've seen my somewhat recent short, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'll just repeat the requirements here. 1. The object must orbit a star. 2. It must be big enough that its
hydrostatic equilibrium, when an object is able to keep its shape in space. Basically, that's basically what it means.
Gravity makes itself round. And 3, its orbit must be cleared of any object similar in size. Pluto manages to complete the first 2 requirements, but not the last. Also, I should mention that the IAU found similar-sized objects to Pluto in this region, the Kuiper Belt, so that's what sparked all of this. Anyway, here we go. Alright, let's get this one out of the way. Pluto. Pluto was discovered in February 1930 by Claude Tombaugh, an American astronomer who found the 9th planet while comparing some space photos and noticed an object moving across the backdrop of stars and figured out that it was a planet. The name for Pluto was actually given by an 11-year-old girl named Venetia Burney, who was born in 1918. Fun fact, did you know it takes Pluto 248 years to orbit the Sun? That means from the time it was discovered to the time it was demoted, Pluto is only 31% of its orbit. And if you want to continue going, it won't complete its orbit until 2178. I think I might be a tad bit dead by then, but who knows. Ceres is actually the only main dwarf planet to be located inside of the asteroid belt. It was discovered in 1801 by a Sicilian man when he was looking for some stars but saw Ceres instead. Hey, that rhymed. Its diameter is 952 kilometers, or roughly the distance between the city of London to the city of Copenhagen. Finally, my solar system Lego.
I cannot do accents for the life of me. I would try to do it, but it's like I can't. I can't. I want to. I just can't. Ooh, hurts some popping. No, it's getting dark out.
The model is officially complete.
4 o'clock.
If only it was to scale. Throughout its history, Ceres is called a planet, but also an asteroid. From the early 19th century to the late 19th century, various other planets were found and were called Pallas, Juno, and Vesta. With these, along with many more asteroids being found, their planet statuses got diminished into asteroid status. Except for Ceres, it still remained as a planet until 2006. If you have looked at an image of it, you might have noticed these white spots. Well, they're actually salt reservoirs, which are about 25 miles deep. And if you're wondering about the length, according to this NASA source, they wrote it down as hundreds of miles wide, which is not a proper answer. Jumping back to the Kuiper Belt, the next dwarf planet in line is Haumea. Haumea was discovered back in the early 2000s, and the first person to actually spot it remains controversial because both astronomers Michael E. Brown and Jose Ortiz claim that they were both the first. One thing you'll notice about Haumea is that it's oval-shaped. This is due to its fast rotation. An average day on the planet is simply 4 hours, or just under the time it would take to watch all 3 SpongeBob movies back to back.
Are you crazy? I was just gonna tell you to turn fire down!
A cool fact about Haumea is that it's the only known dwarf planet to have a ring system. Little is known about the rings, but they were discovered in 2017 as scientists watched Haumea pass in front of a distant star. Oh, and I guess it has 2 moons, Namaka and Hayaka, both named after Hawaiian gods. Namaka being the goddess of the sea, and Hayaka being the goddess of hula dancers, chant, sorcery, and medicine. The 4th dwarf planet from the sun is Maki Maki, and it was discovered in March 2005 by Michael Brown. Again. And it was given the designation of 2005 FY9, until it was later given the name of Maki Maki in July 2008. Maki Maki is located around 6.8 billion kilometers away from the sun, and has 1 moon, S2015-1364-72, or unofficially named MK2. MK2 was discovered back in April 2015, which was 9 years ago. 9 years ago? 9 years ago? What the Anyway, discovered in 2015, MK2 is the only discovered moon of Maki Maki, and is around 175 kilometers in diameter. The final dwarf planet in our solar system is Eris, and the discovery of this thing was the whole reason why Pluto got demoted in the first place. You see, back in January of 2005, our good old friend Michael E. Brown discovered Eris, but at the same time, it was given the nickname Zeneb after some sort of TV show character. It turned out that Eris was slightly smaller than Pluto, however its mass was a bit larger. This would cause a few months of debate on what a planet actually is, and
so these people are actually, this guy is a friend at school, and this guy, he's actually a friend of a friend. I don't know this guy personally. But I was at the time I was like on a call with my friend who had this guy, the other guy in the call, and I was like, I'm gonna put this guy in the video. So, and I just realized, I'm not just realized, but I think a bit afterwards, I'm like, this kind of looks a bit wrong with no context.
Finally, in August of 2006, the IAU...
Also, these guys don't even know each other existence-wise.
Debate on what a planet actually is. And finally, in August of 2006, the IAU voted on a new definition, and that officially kicks Pluto out of the Planet Club. Also, it was at this point when the name Xena was changed to Eris, and its moon was changed to Dysnomia. Eris is named after the Greek god of discord. No, not that one. Discord meaning disagreement. And Dysnomia, which means lawlessness, which also happens to be the daughter of Eris. I don't know if you picked up on this yet, but the majority of our planets and dwarf planets are named after various gods, and their moons are simply just the childs of those gods.
Children.
Also, these are just some of the dwarf planets, and there's actually a lot more, and some of them are just candidates. I was going to name them, but this video is getting too long, so I'll just play them in an Endcard. Alright,
So I do actually plan on making a follow-up dwarf planet video. I have a few other video ideas I want to do. I want to do a video talking about the early solar system. I want to do another Canada video. I have a few like other ideas that are like kind of more interesting to me. So eventually I'll get around to doing a dwarf planet video again. But I only have so many videos in a singular year that I can only really choose the best of ideas that I want to make. So I don't want to have like a mid-video idea, you know. I mean it's subjective, but to me, you know. Yeah. All right, the history of Halloween. Let's go.
Well. You thought it was over. So that series finale was pointless, you may be asking? No, you're actually wrong. The series is over. However, just because I'm done with the series doesn't mean I'm done with Halloween. So that's right. It's time to make an educational video. And for wondering about a Halloween-related video for 2025, I don't know. Probably.
I am so sorry. But I was just too lazy to make one this year.
Anyway, time to tell you about some Halloween history. I'm not sure where in the world Halloween is and isn't observed, and I also don't know where you live. But assuming you don't live in a place where Halloween is celebrated, let me catch you up to speed. Typically in Western countries, you and some friends or family would go out on October 31st and walk around your neighborhood to mug your innocent neighbors for some candy, or whatever food they decide to give you. And the somehow legal act is usually done while wearing a costume. And that is the summarized version of Halloween. Now, I will say, trying to find the exact point of when Halloween originated is tricky, mainly because modern Halloween only appeared around the 19th to 20th centuries. However, this is the most likely origin. Sometime around 2,000 years ago, pagan Gaelics hosted this gathering called Samhain, a festival that was hosted on the
And yes, it's pronounced that way. It's Samhain, but it's Samhain.
Evening of October 31st until sunset, and November 1st would mark the beginning of the darker half of the year. The people celebrating the festival believed that it would break the barrier between the physical world and the other world, where the ghosts of their ancestors would come through. They'd also host these bonfires to ward off any unwelcome spirits, and to hide from them, people would wear masks so that the spirits would confuse them as one of their own. Fast forward to the 8th century, and Pope Gregory III designated November 1st to be All Saints' Day, a day to commemorate, well, All Saints. All Saints' Day decided to take what the Gaelics did and made it about Christianity, similarly what happened to Christ.
Yeah.
The day before All Saints' Day was referred to as All Hallows' Eve, which as you could guess would eventually morph into the name Halloween. Skipping almost a millennia, in the 16th century, the first recordings of guising occurred in Scotland. Guising was simply the act of going to your neighbor's houses in disguises while asking for food or money. And finally, around the mid to late 1800s, the practice of guising was brought over to North America. Eventually, in the late 1920s, the first recorded uses of the term trick-or-treat was mentioned in various Alberta newspapers. However, when Halloween started to grow around this time, there were many problems, most notably vandalism. Many teenagers around the 1920s decided to use Halloween as a way to vandalize stuff and assault people. But Halloween continued to grow for the next few years until a very insignificant, minuscule, itty-bitty war broke out. It was World War II. And because of World War II, sugar had to be rationed and there was little candy and chocolate to be handed out. Yet after the war, Halloween continued on as normal and the rest was pretty much as you could expect. If you skip ahead a couple decades, you notice that Halloween stays relatively the same. However, some things like horror franchises, books, and more commercialized costumes started to grow. But let's leave our time machine and step out in, wait for it, the 2020s. Halloween in the year 2020 was a little bit different because this little virus called COVID-19 decided to screw everything up. According to this article, 52% of parents in Canada said they would not let their kids go trick-or-treating that year. Which if you ask me, that was kinda lame. Except I wouldn't know because my friends and I went out that year and I ended up making a 3-episode miniseries talking about the whole thing.
2 more to come.
Episode 2 is my favorite. Wait, why'd you start talking about the 2020s like it was something in the distant past rather than something recent? Because why not? It's my video. I could do what I want.
Ding ding! Trick or treat!
Oh, I don't think I have any candy on me.
Let me ask this one more time.
I kind of forgot that Asame was in my video. He has like, what, 3,000 subscribers on YouTube? Oh my god. I'm getting tired.
Time. Trick or treat.
You know, I think I might have some Kit Kats to give you. Here you go.
Thank you, kind sir. Wow, people are so
That
generous.
is also
Wait, was that awesome, mate? Wait, come back. And he's gone. Anyway, I think that should fill up the average video runtime of around 4 minutes, give or take. And if not, then I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, that was History of Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'd like to thank you guys for 400 subscribers. That means a lot. And I hope I can get more by the end of the year. Alright, that's everything. See ya.
Alright, next up we have the Fraser Canyon Gold Rush. Let's go.
North America is one of the world's second and fourth largest countries in the world. Canada and the United States of America. They're both pretty close physically, sort of culturally, and not so much historically. Canada and the United States of America. They're both pretty close physically, sort of culturally.
So I made this video during the... So this scene was made prior to the American election. This is back when Trudeau was still in office. This is back when Polyev was still running against him. Which, I mean, he's still running against the Liberal Party, but he... Mark Carney's now running the Liberals. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump won the election.
Actually, and not so much historically.
Yeah.
They had rough relations for the first little while, and a good example of this was the Oregon boundary dispute. You see, in the late 1700s, Canada, which at the time was actually Britain, and the United States needed to set their boundaries. In 1783, Britain and the US established a border from the St. Croix River to separate Maine and New Brunswick. They drew a couple lines going from there to here, then connected back to the St. Lawrence, through the Great Lakes, and finally at the Lake of the Woods. During this time, the map was actually wrong. It turned out that the lake was not actually round, and the Mississippi was a lot lower than they originally thought. This would later get fixed in 1818, and keeping the previous border, the line would go straight across the 49th parallel until it hit the Rocky Mountains. Going west of the Rockies, both countries argued which one should own this territory.
The Pig War.
But that's not what today's video is about. If you really want that, check out The Pig War by Oversimplified. It's actually what inspired this video. Anyway, the dispute was figured out in 1846 with the border being a simple straight line. However, you see this, right here? Well, those are the San Juan Islands, and the British and Americans wanted to figure out who owned them. And it didn't help that some gold was found up north, because a lot of Americans started flocking to the region. And this is finally where we depart from the Pig War. In the 1850s, some indigenous tribes claimed to have found some gold along the Thompson and Fraser rivers.
So yeah, this map's actually wrong because there's actually a lake here, or was a lake here. It's called the Sumas Lake. And then until some people were like, we're going to drain that, and they removed the lake. The lake's no longer here. That area got replaced with the Sumas Prairie, where all the farmland is.
Initially, a man named...
And that area floods all the time, so yeah.
James Douglas, the governor of the Hudson's Bay Company, wanted the news of the gold strikes to be secret. Although in early 1858, 800 ounces or 50 pounds of gold was shipped down to San Francisco and California to determine its quality. And it was only then when the news of some fresh Canadian gold was up for grabs, and the Americans wanted it. In the spring, a couple hundred Californians went up to Fort Victoria, past Fort Langley, and went upstream and became the first wave of people to look for gold. It was the summer of 1858, and many American miners started to go up to the Fraser River looking for gold around the Yale and Lytton area. Although many of them didn't find gold, they did find some indigenous women, and did some horrible things upon the women of those tribes that I will not elaborate on. And in response, the indigenous people killed them, which is...
I think my only criticism for that, I feel like I should have probably taken it with more gravity, I guess.
Some indigenous women,
I feel like
and
kind of just glossed over the fact that they assaulted the women, which is
some horrible things upon the women of those tribes that I will not elaborate on. And in response, the indigenous people killed them, which is, only natural. And that ended up triggering the Fraser Canyon War. Well, okay, it wasn't a war in the traditional sense, it was really just a violent incident. The war lasted from early July 1858 until late August 1858. It ended when the captain of a company based in Yale named Henry Snyder called it...
I was not able to find an actual image of this guy, so I just kind of made a generic person, because all I found was just written historical documents.
Truce with the local indigenous chief. He told them to give the miners access to the gold fields, or else they would bring in some American militiamen. They chose the former. Now I know what you might be thinking. Well, you're talking about the
Pat Graziosi from Life Noggin. I just drew him because I was bored.
Gold rush, but how much people actually got gold? And then I say, well, shut your mouth. I'm about to get there. The number of people who actually went up was around 30,000 people. But by the fall, a lot of the men had failed to get some gold and claimed that the whole thing was some baloney. And when the gold was depleted by the early 1860s, many of them went home or had scattered across the lower mainland and Whatcom County regions. Also, it should be mentioned that after the gold rush, that the economy in the area sank because of the gold depletion and the population.
That's Mount Baker, as seen from the Fraser Valley. If you're looking up that way, looking south.
Decline. And this is pretty much where the gold rush ends. It's not something you'll really hear in Canadian history at all, mainly because it didn't have a major impact on anything. Or did it? Remember when I said that James Douglas was the governor of the Hudson's Bay Company? Well, he was, but during the gold rush, the region he was in wasn't actually a fully formed British colony yet. It was only a response to the influx of American settlers and the various disagreements that the newly formed British Columbia colony was formed in 1866, and James Douglas would go on to be the first governor of it. Oh yeah, and 1 year later, this little country named Canada was formed, and BC would join it in 1871 as the 6th province. And that is the Fraser Canyon Gold Rush along with the formation of British Columbia. Thank you for watching this video, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you in 2025.
And that's the end of 2024. And now we're on to the current year, or last year when you're seeing this. Season 5. AI is pretty weird.
For a while now, I've reviewed... Happy New Year. It's 2025.
So, as I'm recording this, it's still the 29th of December, 2025. Which means the year's pretty much over. And this video is going to be a year old once you see this. Happy New Year 2026, by the way. I know I wasn't able to get a video for January, which sucks, but you got this video. Happy 5 years. Yeah, I saw 2025 as like a futuristic number. 2026 is okay. I think the next futuristic year is 2030. Any like zeros and fives are kind of like the next like 2055 is the next major one. 2050, 20. They're about like that's like so cool. I don't know. Better have like cool stuff by then.
I don't know about you, but for a while now, I've been viewing this year as the futuristic year. Just look at this number. Does it not scream the future to you?
Garbage.
No? Well, that's fair. Most people probably don't think of the current year as the future, as we're living in it. However, just go back to the 1980s when people thought 2015 was so far off into the future. And now it's 10 years in the past. It sucks that I'll be graduating in 2026, though. I was just 1 year off from getting the cool grad year. Anyway, the point of all that is, it's the future now, and one hot topic is artificial intelligence, or simply AI. Also, this video won't be your typical educational video, it's just gonna be rambling incoherently. I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty conflicted when it comes to AI. On one hand, for only really being mainstream for about 2 years now, it's very powerful. You can have complicated topics, articles, or equations boiled down to something you can understand. AI has improved virtual assistants like Google and Siri. You can use AI to create images with ChatGPT, Microsoft's Copilot, formerly Bing Chat, or Midjourney. You can also make video covers with Viggle.ai and make music with Suno. There are definitely a lot more sites you can use, these are just the ones that I know. Oh, and on the other hand, these tools can and have been used in bad ways.
And also environmental impact. Again, I didn't know this back then.
AI has been making scamming easier by taking people's voices and making them say bad things. It has also been used to make propaganda and help fuel ongoing wars and political debates. And in general, AI can
I don't know, I gave Trump like
just be used easily and horribly when put into the wrong hands. However, thankfully, despite all these horrible things AI can do, I haven't actually seen many people use it in such a negative way.
Yeah, it's mostly just memes. As far as I can tell, I know it's, you know, it's been used for more stuff like propaganda and whatnot. I don't know. It's, yeah.
So that's at least something. Most of the time I see AI used by the public is with memes. Here's some examples of these memes. The president gaming trend from 2023.
But I still want to fucking kill Donald.
Jesus Christ, man. What was that for?
The song covers by various real-life and fictional characters.
Where did you learn what it means to reciprocate?
How much can I be accepted to
The brain rot edits.
Lunchly is here.
Did anyone order the drippy cheese?
Or the Lunchly AI trend.
I like my cheese. Dude, this is before 6-7 and before Tung Sahur. What's another meme that happened this year? I have no idea.
Drippy, bro.
So I think because I run a channel that has to do with animation, I think I'm obligated to talk about AI art and whatnot. Now, what do I think of AI art? Like most things, I have pretty mixed opinions on it. I think it all boils down to how you intend to use the art. Like, if you can't draw something and you have a visual of it, then...
I feel like this is probably poorly stated. My thoughts on AI, it's good. It has a lot of potential. Again, I said this earlier in the Futuristic Tech part, but, like, potential, it's out of the box. We can't go back. We just gotta go with it. We just gotta make it better, you know? It's new technology. It's being put in the wrong hands, but it's, again, pendulum swings. It's gonna go back to, it's gonna be good in the end once all this blows over. But it's gonna be fine. But we're gonna have to work towards it. I'm not saying it's gonna be like fine with no effort. It's gonna be fine once we put in the effort and it's fixed. Whatever these billionaires do. But it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. But just AI, it has potential. It can be used for bad. It has been used for bad. Slop. I think people should learn how to draw. I mean, I'm still learning. Like, I'm always like trying to improve my stuff. I'm not good at it. I'm trying to get better. Keep your brain in check. Always, if you're gonna use it for school, what I do is I just have it like break down assignments. I don't let it do it for me. I write my stuff. I make my projects for school. I make my videos for YouTube. You just don't let it be the driver. Have it be like your little assistant. Make sure your hands are behind the wheels at all times.
Go ahead. But just don't go around saying that it's yours and that you created it and whatnot, because that's called plagiarism, whether or not it's created by a human or a robot. And also, I can't go around here saying that I'm against AI artwork and media.
I am against AI in TV, movies, and etc. I'm just okay with personal use of AI, you know.
As I pull crap like this. Oh, when the saints go marching in, then a piece of gold bars, I shall speed jumped over cars.
This is an AI cover of a song parody of a song.
As for that,
I'm sorry. I'll stop with the other.
Granted, it is my own work, so it's not like I'm going around taking other people's stuff. However,
even though I literally just stole another guy's video. Whoopsies.
This is helping the AI models get better and better, and now they have my data somewhere in the systems. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, as every single company in the
like Google has Google, Microsoft, and like Apple and Facebook already have your data. It's like, I'm not saying like, oh, just give up. I'm just saying like that's the truth. They know everything about you. You're no longer private. If you're watching this video, you're not safe.
The world has everyone's personal data stored somewhere, so capitalism, hell yeah. I have to hold my phone to record the audio. I can't clap. But I am against the idea of AI art just becoming the norm, and unfortunately, people actually think AI art was. So
yeah, just slop. AI slop. Sloppity slop on Reddit. They're like the most AI defenders ever.
Just for the better, so. Hey, what else? Oh yeah, using AI to write things. Whenever I make my video scripts, I never allow AI to write anything, but I do use it to help summarize or break down my script or sources that I'm reviewing for the more video, educational-esque videos. But you hear that little word, help? It helps when writing. It never takes a majority or even a quarter.
It doesn't even take like 5 to 10%, like, let's be honest.
Of the work. And that's all AI is, a helper tool, and it should be treated as such. And that's how I think AI will progress into the future. It will grow into a much better tool for information as opposed to the ancient and traditional work of looking it up on the internet. But if Google's Gemini has taught us anything, I think we still would.
Google Gemini is still pretty garbage. If you're going to use AI, just use ChatGPT, goddammit. Like, Grok sucks because it's just red pill slop. Gemini sucks because for it being a Google AI, you'd think it'd be good, but it's not. Just use ChatGPT. Come on. It's like, yeah. No. I went too far. I went too far. Go back. We're not there yet.
For a while now. I don't see any post-apocalypse. Yeah, I believe AI is here to stay and evolve, and if we can get like governments to regulate and pass some laws.
Pass safeguard laws. Do not be like, we're gonna put our stuff in the AI. Don't do that. But they're probably gonna do it anyway, let's be honest. But yeah.
Laws around it. That'd be great. I don't see any post-apocalyptic AI takeover happening anytime soon. Honestly, I think World War III is far more likely.
And I even think World War III is not even likely. There's going to be high tensions. There's going to be, like, casualties. There's going to be wars. I don't think a World War III, right? Like, World War III is more likely than AI apocalypse. But World War III, no one wants, like, we don't want to blow each other up. I mean, we want to blow each other up, but we don't want to blow each other up. You know? That's how we all die.
But hopefully neither of those come true, and we get those cool buildings, flying cars, and high-tech stuff.
Maybe not flying cars, but I do see, like, just advancement in technology in, like, 30 years. For example, I think cars will be more efficient. Maybe not gasless. I feel like gas cars will still be around. Less so. I don't think electric cars are better, per se, because there's still a bunch of lithium batteries, right? That's not good. I feel like we'll find a better source by then. Just like not electric, not gas. I think just something else. You know, we'll figure something else. I can't wait to see what phones turn into. Right, I really want to see what phones turn into in the future, because like phones used to be like these massive like bricks, right? And then before that, they used to be like little like rotary phones. You know, you like pick them up, and be like, hey, what's up, buddy? I want to see what they turn into. I mean, I like this. I like this design. I think it's good, but I just want to see how technology progresses. I can't wait to see what happens. Like I don't know, a little ring or something, be like boop, holographic display. Hey, yo, buddy, you mind meeting me at Tim Hortons at 5 o'clock? Hell yeah. I don't know. Also, the SkyTrain for Vancouver. I want that to expand outwards into the valley. That'd be awesome.
I really want that high-tech feature.
Also, the Reddit thing. If you go back here, where was it? Yeah. Something about Reddit. AI. I don't know. They're like huge, like AI. Glazers over there, as far as I can tell. Like Reddit is AI slop for like left wing AI slop, and then Twitter is right wing AI slop. That's how I see it. And TikTok's just brain rot slop, which I guess it's the. All right, the planets outside our solar system.
So in previous space videos, I've talked about Mars and the 5 dwarf planets. In this video, however, I think we should leave our solar system and talk about exoplanets, which the term basically means any planet that exists outside of our solar system. But because of the stupid amount of exoplanets that exist, I'll just choose 4 planets at random and then talk about those. One thing I should preface before we go right in is that exoplanet studies are still relatively new, the first one being discovered in the early 90s, and also some planets that I'll be talking about today may or may not be 100% confirmed, as the data is still being developed as we speak, but for the sake of content, I'll talk about them anyway. Kepler 452b was announced in July 2015 by NASA using the transit method of discovery. This method is basically viewing a planet or celestial body as it passes in front of its host star, which in turn causes the emitted light from said star to dim a little bit. And while we're talking about it, the transit method is basically the most common and effective method of discovery, so that's pretty cool, I think. Anyway, 452b is fairly similar to Earth and is currently believed to lie within the habitable zone of its host star, meaning it may have the potential to harbor life.
But not guaranteed. And it probably, I think I heard something about that it does not have life. It could have life, but like we're not even sure about that.
Located 1,400 light years away from us, 452b orbits a G-type main sequence star, which is the same as our sun, and also has 5 times the mass of Earth. 452b's orbit is only 20 days longer than ours at 385 days. However, the length of a day on this planet is currently unknown. Because 452b stars towards the end of its lifespan and giving off more heat, the planet is likely experiencing a greenhouse effect, which causes its surface to reach around 17 degrees Celsius, and is probably going to get hotter and hotter over time. However, if the planet has an ocean, that along with its volcanic activity, due to its higher mass and density, that could help slow down this rapid heating by forming a carbon-silicon cycle. I have no idea what that is, go look.
I had like an earth science class like during this time, which I wrote the script before I was put in that class, and so I didn't know much about it. I know like a bit more, but I just, you know, I mean, obviously I forgot. I didn't know. I learned it, and I forgot about it again because I don't know. I don't really care.
Look it up, which could delay this process for around 500 million years. Moving on. Discovered a long time ago in the era of January 2024, astronomers discovered this planet in the constellation Gemini called HD 63433d. What's interesting about this planet is that it's totally locked to its star that it's really close to, and has extreme weather on either side. HD orbits its star at around 0.05 astronomical units, or 1/20th the distance from the Earth to the Sun, which is horrendously close, as Mercury's distance is only 1/3 the distance of Earth and the Sun. And the distance gives the planet a 4-day orbital cycle. So the front side of this planet is scorching hot at over 1,200 degrees Celsius, and is believed to be covered in lava and magma, and has possibly a lot of volcanic activity. But conversely, the dark side of this planet is believed to be as cold as the dwarf planet Pluto.
So I actually took a snippet from the dwarf planet video where I said Pluto, and that's where I put it in, because I tried recording a line, but it didn't match well, and I just was like, nah, fuck it.
Which is freezing cold at negative 230 degrees Celsius. The cold side of the planet also probably has a bunch of like frozen nitrogen glaciers moving about. So if you want to visit the real life equivalent to hell as possible, I recommend visiting HD. PSR B1620, nicknamed Methuselah after the longest living biblical figure according to various religion, is one of, if not the oldest exoplanets discovered, believed to be over 12 billion years old. Located over 12,000 light years away in the constellation of Scorpius to the right of Antares, Methuselah orbits a set of binary stars, one being a white dwarf and the other being a pulsar. A pulsar is a type of neutron star that rotates like really fast and is very magnetic, and this specific star is slightly larger than our sun and is believed to rotate around over 100 times a second. Given the fact it orbits a neutron star, how did Methuselah survive the supernova that created it? The answer, it probably didn't. Although uncertain, scientists think that Methuselah originated in its own solar system within the M4 cluster of stars until it traveled through the core of a cluster where it attracted a neutron star and its companion. After a lot of spinning around each other, rest in peace the companion, the original star swelled up into a supergiant, somehow avoiding Methuselah, then became a dwarf, and the neutron star kept spinning around it into a pulsar, and they lived happily ever after. Alright, the final planet we'll look at today is TOI 1452b, which is believed to be a planet completely covered in water. TOI was discovered in July 2022 at the University of Montreal, and data suggests that it is an ocean world candidate and is 70% larger than Earth and 5 times more massive. As you probably know, Earth is covered in 70% water, but that only accounts for less than 1% of its mass. On this planet, though, we're actually unsure, but based on the fact that it has a lot of water, probably, it could have oceans tens of hundreds of kilometers deep. Also, I would recommend going swimming in the water here, as the surface temperature is over 50 degrees Celsius.
Just a cheeky little
I just
swim.
recommend sticking to your regular beach or
edging, or GLQ.
Swimming pool. So those are the 4 exoplanets that I thought were interesting and wanted to share with you guys today. And I'm thinking for whenever the next outer space video releases, I'll talk about some stars, or some black holes, or some other massive stuff. But my next video will probably be like politics or something like that.
Which wasn't wrong. I did politics. Oh god, the stupid Elon.
I don't know, I'm thinking about the idea. Alright, see ya.
Alright guys, Canadian Politics Explained. We're in the home stretch, the final 4 videos. Alright, so my audio cut out when I started watching this video, and so I'm going to be re-recording this entire segment from this video all the way to the end of my videos, and then a few private ones. So if I sound tired, it's because I am. I'm recording this at 2 in the morning. My last segment was recorded around like between 1 to 4 or 5. But yeah, time to re-record this bit. Alright, Canadian Politics Explained. 4,000 views, currently my most popular video. Comedic segments.
Okay, so I had this video idea since like July or August, but wanted to upload a few of these videos first. And wow, there's been so much stuff happening since then. First, Donald Trump got re-elected in the States, then Justin Trudeau announced his resignation, then Trump placed tariffs on Canada, Trudeau officially resigned, and Mark Carney stepped up. And just today, as of writing this opening section, March 20th, 2025, Mark Carney says he plans on calling a snap federal election for April 28th, just a few weeks from now. So instead of doing this video in the summer as planned, I'm going to enter a crunch mode and see if I can make this video out on time. Well, I mean, you already know the answer, but I don't. So let's go. We don't have time to waste. The election system. Oh boy. So the way our system works is a little bit weird, but I'll just try to keep it simple and avoid all those asterisks. First off, the Prime Minister doesn't actually have a term limit, unlike the USA with the maximum of 2 terms. However, elections are required to happen every 4 years, similar to America. Except the Prime Minister has the power to call an early election if they choose, which explains how we got an early election in 2021, pushing back the set election from 2023 to 2025. The election process begins once the Prime Minister presents to the Governor General a personal document called the Instrument of Advice, which recommends the Parliament be dissolved. Once dissolution occurs, both the House of Commons and Senate business is shut down, ending all activities. The Governor issues to all the ridings basically saying, yo, we're doing an election, get your crap together. Once that's settled, individuals who want to run in an electoral riding can apply either independent or with a party. A party can only choose 1 person per riding. On the voter end, a person does not get the option to choose the Prime Minister directly. Rather, they choose a member of Parliament who represents their riding and seat in the House of Commons. The party with the most seats forms the government, and they get to decide who they would like as the new prime minister. However, the way votes are decided is through the first-past-the-post system.
Sorry,
meaning if a specific riding has candidates being really close to each other, but one is taking the lead by 1 point, that candidate takes the entire riding. Repeat that multiple times over the country, and very soon you'll have a bunch of seats filled. However,
I just colored each of these like randomly, just so it's like kind of ambiguous on like what these colors mean, because they don't really mean anything. It's just kind of like random.
A bunch of seats filled. However, there are two forms of government we should talk about: majority and minority. The line for determination is a minimum of around 170 of 343 seats. Saying around, as for the 2025 election, the minimum is 172. But a minority government can still win if no other party reaches that 170 mark. But this means they'll have to form a coalition with another party to stay in power.
This part's not accurate. I think some commenter was like, it only really applies for like wartime government. It's not like a required thing. I'm not even sure where I got this from. Hold on, where's the comment? Yeah, coalition, very specific word. Most minority governments don't form coalitions. Canada only one. World War One under Borden. Yeah, I don't know where I got that from.
And once that is all done, the prime minister is usually put in office from a couple days to a couple weeks after the election, assuming things don't go awry. Time for the current political parties of Canada. Alright, I know how polarized people are, so to avoid as much of like controversy as possible, I will just be talking about each party's main goals and some key details about them. I'll omit any current events and politicians because 1, this video will get outdated almost instantly, and 2, that's just a nightmare.
Times have changed! Times have changed!
Controversy as possible, I will just be talking about each party's main goals and key details about them. I'll omit any current events.
I like how this is like got outdated instantly because these guys, because Polyev lost his seat, but he managed to fight it back in a few months after that. In Alberta, he got kicked out of his seat, and I don't know what the hell happened to this guy.
In politicians, because 1, this video will get outdated almost instantly, and 2, that's just a nightmare.
Times have changed! Our kids are getting worse! They won't obey their parents, they just want to party harder!
Founded on the founding date of our country, July 1st, 1867, the Liberal Party was one of the earliest groups formed. It is one of the 2 main political parties in Canada in opposition to the Conservatives, and is currently being run by Mark Carney. On the political spectrum, the Liberals are on the center-left, and they generally believe in the idea of liberalism, which is the idea that emphasizes individualism, political and religious freedom, cultural diversity, and gender equality. General equality. You know what, both work. Some notable actions taken by the Liberals have been things like improving social welfare, notably with the Canada Child Benefits to help lower-class families, and they also expanded the Canadian Pension Plan. Universal healthcare has been a thing that Liberals have been continuing to advocate for over the years, and through recent times, it hasn't been doing too hot. But on the other hand, Liberals have also been fumbling a lot of stuff, primarily the housing crisis, which I know is not directly their fault. This is a worldwide problem, but regardless, $3,000 a month for a standard house nowadays is insane. It doesn't help that the government is letting lots of new people come into Canada. Am I saying that I'm against immigration? Not at all. I believe people should come here to get a better life. However, we do need to regulate it and slow down the amount of people that are coming into our country, because it is a lot. And there's not a lot of livable space. People.
Yeah, like I do want, like, in the sense of like Canada being like a really open country for immigration. Like, yeah, I think we should have more immigrants. Same with the U.S., but I can't really speak on their behalf. But I think we should allow more immigrants into our country, or supposed to. But not right now, because we're suffering from a housing crisis, and just letting more people in when we're already struggling to get more houses is not a good thing, as far as I can tell. It's just going to get a lot worse over time. So hopefully we can fix that. But that will take some time. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Even if we did like randomly start tomorrow, it would still take many years to fix over. So, yeah. I'm so excited to rent a house in a couple of years.
To actually inhabit. Yeah, Canada's big, but mostly just ice. That's why people don't live in, like, the territories, except for, like, 5 people. Yeah. And also, they added the carbon tax to help reduce our impact on the environment, which isn't bad in theory, except why does it apply for people? Just make it for the companies. Charge them for the pollution. Alright, time for the opposition.
Should we blame the government or blame society?
Or should we blame the
Although they existed in the 19th century, the modern Conservative Party, which is currently run by Pierre Polyev, was founded in 2003, and they lie center-right to right-wing politically. They believe in the idea of economic liberalism. They want to lower taxes, have a small government, and low business regulations. Notable actions taken by the Conservatives during their leadership were things like reducing sales and income taxes, creating the Universal Canada Child Benefit, raising the age of consent from 14 to 16. Jesus.
Yeah, that took forever. I was surprised to read that when I looked it up. I was like, what have the Conservatives accomplished? And I like scrolled through their list, and I saw that. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked it up, and I was like, that's true. Yeah, it turns out the age of consent was 14 up until 2007. I have no idea why it took so long.
It took until 2007, and in 2008, the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, apologized on behalf of Canadians for the residential school system, which negatively impacted thousands of Aboriginal children.
More like hundreds of thousands, I think, but it's still a lot.
Although the Conservatives support the Canada Health Act, which emphasizes accessibility for healthcare, they don't like the idea of a national pharmacare plan, which in short would increase government spending and intervention along with higher taxes. In Canada, we have pretty strict gun control laws, but the Conservatives are very much against them and believe that to fix any violent issues is to regulate how guns are imported and prevent illegal gun smuggling.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like that makes sense, you know. I think smuggling of any kind should be regulated.
Just ban the damn gun.
I don't know why I wrote this. I don't know anything about that, to be honest. I just kind of assumed. But, oh yeah, this is just ban the damn gun. That line got some people riled up. Kind of forgot that was a political statement, not just a random joke. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of my thoughts on guns. I think for hunting and stuff like that, that's fine. But like, I feel like just to have a gun isn't really a good reason to have one. You know, I think our rules surrounding guns are pretty good for the most part. Again, I'm not really too knowledgeable on gun laws here, and like if I'm like talking about like specifics, but I do understand that like we have like, you can't just have a gun like hanging up on your wall. You actually have to have it like behind a case, locked up with like X amount of pin codes, and you gotta have it like separate from, you have to have the ammo separate from the gun. What I heard. I think Australia and the UK have pretty similar laws, and then our good old neighbors to the south are very relaxed gun laws, which causes them to have 300. I think they have 300 school shootings this year alone. We haven't had a major school shooting in like years. That was not to undercut anything. I was a legitimate cough. Yeah, I feel like this gun debate could be for another time. I'm not really a debater. I'm just yapping. But yeah. Well, this is another time. By another time, I mean like probably not for a billion years.
Time for the parties that have never taken main leadership roles in the federal government. The first one being the New Democratic Party, or simply the NDP. The NDP is a center-left to left-wing party that focuses mainly on social issues.
You see that was a really comedic jab there. I'm such a fat fucking chud.
Think of it as the Liberal Party, but way more saturated. Left to left-wing party that focuses mainly on social issues.
She'll give more fentanyl, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna mention this in just a second in the video, but it's just like there's so much people, like in BC, you know, because that's where I live. A lot of people on drugs in my neighborhood. I hate this.
Issues. Think of it as the Liberal Party, but way more saturated. The NDP supports the idea of broader social welfare, international peace, that's funny, expanding universal health care to things like dental care, mental health care, visual and auditory care, and prescription drugs. And also decriminalizing drugs in BC.
In check.
Dear government, please fix the drug problem. I don't like seeing several homeless bums outside of my local Timmy's when I'm trying to grab Timbits. Thank you. They've also been advocates for things like gender equality and LGBT rights and whatnot. The drug problem is still bad, though. Obviously, I get it. It's like the point of it is to rehabilitate people instead of shaming them, which is good. But I feel like it could have been executed a lot better.
The LGBT bit, yeah, I don't know. I made like some like crappy phrasing. I forgot what I said, but I remember it was something stupid. I was like, that's probably gonna look bad, so I just cut it out. But
rights and whatnot. The drug problem is still bad, though. Obviously.
Yeah, Tyler Oliveira. I haven't watched much of his content recently. He mostly does like investigative journalism or whatever it is. Some of it's entertaining, but I feel like most of it's just like mostly drug stuff, like some random city, and it's just like I mean, yeah, it's good, you know, good that he's sharing it, but it's like, you know, content-wise, it's pretty repetitive. So I'm just like, gets boring. Who cares about drugs? Even though I just did a yap session like a minute ago.
Obviously, I get it. It's like the point of it is to rehabilitate people instead of shaming them, which is good. But I feel like it could have been executed a lot better.
Yeah.
What I think is the opposite of the NDP is the People's Party. They are a regular to far right-wing party that was formed in 2018 after their leader Maxime Bernier left the Conservative Party, saying what he believed that the party is too intellectually and morally corrupt to be reformed. The PPC never held any provincial or federal office, but has continued to corrupt.
All right, like, not even like politics-wise. Hold on, that's the cartoon version of him. Where's the actual image of this guy's face?
Regular to far right-wing party that was formed in 2018 after their leader Maxime Bernier left the Conservative Party, saying what he believed that the party is too intellectual.
Where's his face? I just saw it. Or am I on like crack right now? Like this guy.
Opposite of the NDP is the People's Party. They are regular to far right-wing party that was formed in 2018 after their leader Maxime Bernier left the Conservative Party, saying what he believed that the party is too intellectually and morally corrupt to be reformed.
Okay, I don't know if the image is gonna pop up again, but this guy, like, not even politics-wise, he just looks like some evil mastermind from like a movie or something like that. I don't know why. I just feel like I just kind of imagine him being like, not even just like politics. I'm just saying like what he looks like.
The PPC never held any provincial or federal office, but has continued to advocate for itself, focusing on things like anti-immigration, wanting to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. During 2020, it ran opposition to COVID-19 lockdowns and vaccine passports.
Oh, bowling. Yeah, I remember that. This actually is sort of, this little thing right here is sort of based on like a real thing. Basically, it was my 14th birthday, so not 2020, but, you know, yeah, 14th birthday, and I wanted to do bowling with my friends. Most of us got the vaccine. One of my friends did not. So at this bowling place we went to, they're like, you actually have to have your vaccine passport QR code thing. And I was like, and we were like, oh, okay, and you're like, you know, scan them. And that was like most businesses anyway. Most businesses anyway. And my friend wasn't able to go because he didn't have a, you know, a QR code. And I think we literally could have just smuggled him in because I don't think they even checked, or if they did, they didn't really care. I feel like had we just brought him in, we probably just. Also, we were like, again, 14. I don't think it really matters anyway. Plus, it was 2022, so it's like COVID was already on the decline.
Massively disliked LGBT-related stuff, anti-abortion. You know what? You get the idea. Let's move on.
I got a comment under this video from this part. They're like, you talked about the scene pretty short and you just brushed it off. Typical Lim. I don't think they realized that I didn't talk about them that much just because I was just reading off their party platform. Same thing with the Bloc Québécois, same thing with the Green Party, same thing with the NDP. The reason why the Liberals and Conservatives got most of the screen time is because they got most of the time in office. Or all the time in office for both of them, because these four never got federal office at all. I mean, Bloc Québécois is obviously Quebec, but, like, who cares? No one cares about it. The French. They only make up, like, the second half of our, like,
as you should know, especially if you live here, Canada has two official languages, English and French.
Anglais
and you should also know that the majority of that French exists in Quebec.
Je déteste les personnes habitent de la province du Québec. I wonder if, I'm pretty sure I butchered that sentence, but...
Throughout its history, Quebec has had significant advocates for independence from Canada, mainly due to the contrast in Francophone and Anglophone culture.
Really
so that's why in 1991, the Bloc Québécois party was...
Don't worry, guys. I have like some French... I have some Quebec French background in me. Don't worry. Actually, it's like pretty dominant in my background, but I don't know. I live on the West Coast, so I ain't really... yeah,
the Bloc is a center-left party that, besides watching Quebexit, supports some things like lowering the voting age to 16, LGBT rights, Quebec independence, the abolition of the Canadian Senate and monarchy, Quebec independence, the legalization of assisted suicide, and oh, did I mention Quebec independence? They care about the environment. That's pretty much it. They're neither a left or right party, just an amalgamation of social, progressive, fiscally conservative, and
you can kind of hear like the saliva and like water in my mouth. Yeah. I try to avoid that as much as possible, but it's just like when you're talking for so long, it's just, yeah.
And environmentally green ideas. Yeah. That is it. And that is Canadian.
Yeah, also about the Green Party, I feel like they could just be mixed with, like, literally any other party. It's like solely the environment. Okay, that's a good thing. I'm not saying don't care about the environment. I'm just saying, like, merge with the liberals or something. The fuck?
Politics explained in a general nutshell. And regardless of who wins, whether that's liberal or conservatives, the others are not winning, let's be honest here, that we can respect each other, even if the views on our own cities, provinces, country, or the world are different. We are Canadians. We are supposed to be nice to each other. Let's show our neighbors to the south what real respect looks like. It's just politics. Don't get so bent out of shape because of it.
Just politics, guys. Don't care about it too much. But I made this video. Hold on.
Have a good one. Vote if you can, and I'll see you guys very soon.
I made this video because I kind of find politics, like, they're important, but it's like people are, like, way too pessimistic about them nowadays. People are, like, way too bummy. They're way too, like, everything's doom and gloom. It's just like, here's a funny cartoon. Here's a little cartoon for you guys to watch. Here's a cartoon about politics. I just make some lighthearted stuff, and people liked it. I mean, I don't think this like count is accurate. I think I got like 20 something dislikes, but I mean, again, most people liked it. I got a bunch of nice positive comments. It's 67, 67 comments. I mean, obviously, you can typically tell the longer comments are the ones of people just yapping. I was gonna read this guy's comments, but it was like so much yap. I'm like, I'm not gonna read that. Oh my god. Garak, can you summarize this for me? Anyway, that's Canadian Politics Explained. Let's move on to the next video, which is the time my friend fought in Woodwork class. Oh, God.
Ah! Oh, it's just a dream. Who is that Jack guy? It doesn't matter, he's not real.
He's not real.
Hey!
Ah!
What time is it?
And that was the last storytime animation video I've ever created. Not
Jesus. Bruh. Anyway.
Not including the Halloween series, which continued later on. Yes, in a few other videos.
Halloween 4 and 5 coming 2026, maybe, potentially. I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm less confident about that, but again, Fry watch it. Yeah. Thinking of just name dropping.
I put a few miniature stories here and there, but the general trend has been mainly educational. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, since June 2023, one of my friends, Fry, as he wishes to be labeled, has been asking me to tell the stool incident.
Hey, get it? Stool, like crap.
Which I'll get into, since it occurred. I had to keep explaining to him by that point I had already switched my content style to the educational themes, and that I was generally done with stories. Well, it's been nearly 2 years since this, and he has not stopped asking. So I just said, God damn it, here's your video. Please shut up now.
Look at that, references. Canadian snacks and the nightcat.
Also, besides being held at gunpoint, I'm only allowing this video to be made as I was personally there as when the stupidity was unfolding. And without further ado, let's ring in the golden era of Vlogmations by telling a story. So the story isn't really that long, it's just a short story that took place in grade 9. It was the final Wednesday of the school year, and it was the second period right before lunch, and it was woodwork. I'll be honest, I forgot exactly what I was doing during this block, but I do know one thing. I was done all my work. Fry, on the other hand, I don't think so. He was really bored. Meanwhile, one of our not-so-friends anymore, but still one of our classmates, who I'll just give the fake name of Bean, was at one of those foosball tables that were in our wood shop. Basically, those miniature soccer table things. According to him, Fry was trying to get Bean's attention. What for? No idea. But his method of doing so was taking these wooden block sanders from the table and hucking them at Bean. The other reason as to why he did this was because, well, he was just generally annoyed at Bean for personal reasons, and so he kept making a couple more throws. Which, you know what? Maybe doing that unprompted wasn't the best idea, as Bean turned around and told him, "Fry, do that one more time, I dare you." Thinking it was an empty threat, Fry throws another block of wood at Bean. Turns out, it wasn't an empty threat, because Bean decided to charge towards our table, grab one of those wooden stools, and throw it at Fry's head.
Okay, so there's actually a bit more context that I will not elaborate on that much, but there was a lot more like back and forth and name calling. Somehow I was involved with it. I did not mention it in this video because it was a bit like on a personal level, and I'm not putting that on the internet. I don't want to make as much as I am not a fan of Bean. He wasn't like, I mean, to me in my friend group perspective, he was not a nice person as time went on, but like I'm sure he just had some problems he was going through, right? And so I didn't want to like blast that. I mean, as far as I know, he could have changed completely, but I have no idea, so I don't talk to him. I don't know. I feel like that was part of, I didn't want to make this video. I mean, I made it because, again, a friend was like, when you have a person screaming down your ear for 2 years, being like, "Hey, you should make a video. You should make a video. You should make a video," and me telling him like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." I mean, you know, normally you'd be like, "Hey, stop that. It's annoying," or something like that. You know, I have this thing called a lack of a spine, which needs to grow. And speaking of spine, that's handy to stretch. But anyway, I made the video reluctantly because I was just like, I don't really want to make Bean seem like a horrible person. He was, I mean, again, perspective, but I feel like, yeah, that's why I changed Bean's name in this video as opposed to a previous video. But yeah, Bean, if you're watching this, hopefully you're doing better. Hopefully you're not pissed at me for making this video. And if you are watching this video, hit me up just to make sure that like you're okay with it. But I doubt you would be. But until I get that angry Discord message being like, "Yo, what the fuck is this video?" I'm gonna keep the video up. And if the video does go private eventually, you'll know why.
Also, might I add, these block standers weren't even that dense. They were fairly lightweight. If you put some force into that throw, the worst you can do would be like a little mark on the body. The stool, however.
Also, I did like unblock Bean's Discord because I'm just like waiting for that message, just being like, "What is this video?" Or it just doesn't care. And in that case, good. But
wasn't lightweight.
We'll see.
It could do some damage, and the damage it caused was surprisingly minimal. That being said, you can't just do that. Although I have my opinions on Bean, I think from that objective standpoint, you shouldn't throw a stool, or any object for that matter, out of anger in general, and definitely not in a classroom setting, and especially not in a woodshop setting. But moving on, Bro threw the stool, punched Fry in the face, and told him, "Get out of the classroom." As this was happening, our woodwork teacher, who we'll just call Mr. Chad, came bolting out of his office to separate the two.
Mr. Chad, my goat.
From this point onward, I wasn't there personally. This is all from Fry's perspective. I was still at our table just watching this, but unable to really listen in. So consider me a second-hand source. Mr. Chad left Fry in his office to go and talk with Bean first on his side of the story. Apparently, Bean claimed that Fry called him things like fat and did the name calling. Fry obviously denied these accusations and
yeah, a lot of back and forth stuff.
Claimed that Bean had been the one saying all that stupid stuff about him and me. Chad and Fry continued to chat, but then were soon transferred over to...
What I find dumb about this is that I wasn't even called into the office for anything. Literally, I was there. I was part of it, more or less, right? Like, you know, it was Fry, Bean. I was there, right? Witness testimony? No. Yeah, that was stupid.
To the school's official office. He went into our vice principal's room. Fry was getting bored, and since he still had his phone on him, he went on it. However, our vice principal, Miss Uranus, saw his phone and took it away and then placed it in a cabinet box. The lunch bell rang and both Bean and Fry were placed together in a new room. Miss Uranus once again asked Fry about the Bean name calling. He denies it again. She then goes on a rant about something. Fry didn't give me the most detailed story to work off of. And when she was done her, quote, yapping...
Yeah, this is literally like I remember he typed like a for 10 minutes he was just typing on Discord on his phone, just being like, "Here's the whole story." And so I just screenshotted that. And I was like, again, it was the most incomprehensible Discord message I've ever read, and so this script is more or less based on that message. I mean, obviously, again, personal account plus there was previous stuff back at. We had this conversation like the day of this happening, so I was able to go back to those messages in the archives and be like, "Let's just use that." But this is for extra context. But yeah, I was just like,
unquote.
Okay.
She said to Fry, "You would be suspended right now, but since you're a good kid,
I don't know how much good kid is accurate, but okay.
We'll let you off with a warning." And stated how, since Fry rarely went to the school's office,
I'm not too sure about that, but okay.
He would be fine. Hey, that sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it?
I didn't go to the office that much. Actually, at all. At least not in middle school. Elementary school. Wasn't too often. Definitely more in the early elementary school. I was a bit of a prick, but middle school, no, I was never sent to the office for anything bad. If I was sent to the office, it was because of like, oh hey, there's like a message for you or whatever, or something stupid like that.
He then acknowledged what he was being told, and then was pretty much forced to give an apology to Bean, and then later left the area. However, Miss Uranus did pull him aside and said that if he did another bad thing before the end of the school year, which mind you was literally one day after, that he would not be attending the grade 9 barbecue. However, in the fall during the start of high school in grade 10, he was never placed into a woodworking course, even though he selected it for one of his electives. And he says that he's pretty sure that the middle school got in contact with the high school and then told them not to allow him in a woodworking class. But whether or not this is true, it's still speculation. But what is true is that he never got that class. And neither did he get it in grade 11.
And he didn't get it in grade 12 either. Meanwhile, for me, I moved schools since then. Like literally the end of grade, I finished my undergrad grade 9 at home. And then I moved cities and schools starting grade 10 through present. That's a whole other thing. But I continued woodworking. I started woodworking class in grade 8, technically grade 7. But that wasn't really, it was a bit of a weird time back then. But grade 8 officially, grade 9, grade 10, 11, 12. Not just yet. As of recording, when this video drops February 14th, I will be attending second semester, which has woodwork inside of it. I think it's fun, and I do plan on pursuing woodworking after high school. I'll get to that at the end, though. I got to the end.
And we're both unsure whether or not Bean got rejected from woodworking, but I mean, if Ryan got kicked out for that reason, Bean should have also been equally kicked out. But that's just my opinion. So this story had a happy ending? Not really. But yeah, that's been the time that my friend fought in woodwork class, and it's been fun adding all these little references to older videos. So thanks for watching, and go to crack or something. I don't know.
Alright, cool. We got 2 more videos to go. Let's do this. Okay, we got 2 massive videos. 2:39 a.m. What is this? Exam Coach Pro? Get this crap off my screen. Tell us why. I don't like it. I haven't seen it, but it looks bad. Good.
God, what month are we in? September? In the humongous 25? Wow. Also, sorry for the wait. I have just been absolutely brain dead trying to think of a good video idea, and I came across this. A COVID-19 retrospective. Also, I will say COVID is still very much around, but it hasn't been a pandemic since May 2023.
Yeah, like if you have COVID now, it's just like, okay. Big deal.
So yeah, just saying. This video will be presented in a history lesson format, but it hasn't been a pandemic since May. Let's look through it, assuming you are watching this video in 2045.
Yeah, this calendar is accurate, by the way. This is assuming the calendar you're using is a Sunday to Saturday calendar, because it'll be Friday, September 1st to Saturday, September 30th.
5. Well, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to include a few personal tidbits from the time period and include some guests while we're at it. So let's go. Okay, where do we begin? I guess on the virus itself. COVID-19. COVID-19 stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019, which is from the virus strain of SARS-CoV-2. The earliest cases of the virus can be traced back as far as November 2019 in Wuhan, China, likely caused from a zoonotic spillover from a bat at a local wet market, with most evidence supporting this idea. The virus continued to spread quickly around the country until early January 2020, when the virus hitched a ride out of the country and spread across Thailand and Japan. A couple of weeks later, officials confirmed the first case of COVID-19 had reached the United States after a man came back from his trip from Wuhan. On January 23rd, 2020, China realized that the virus had moved pretty fast and decided to put the city of Wuhan under quarantine, along with other cities within the Hebei province. Unfortunately, the virus continued to spread around, and after a total of 118,000 cases, 4,000 deaths, spread across 114 countries, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 to be a pandemic on March 11th, 2020. And from then on, things got stupid. But first, I want to mention a little anecdote I remember from grade 6, about a month before the pandemic.
Also, the one thing I liked about this video was that animating the mask was the easiest part. I had to do like barely any lip syncing until like the end.
I remember my ICF teacher just telling the class something along the lines of, "Hey, so there's new virus going around."
ICF, Intensive Core French, had that class from grade 6 all the way to grade 9. I did horrible pretty much the entire way through. I don't know how I managed to get all the way through it, but God, grade 9 was like the worst year, like academic wise for French. I wasn't practicing enough, and so I kind of fell out of just wasn't able to retain much of it. I started Duolingo back in like February again this year, but it's not really helping that much. I can read and understand a bit of French, mainly through context. It's not a hard language to understand, but like forming my own sentences is like not easy for me in French. So, which sucks. I do want to learn another language, which I'm slowly, but yeah, we'll see.
Don't worry about it too much. It should be fine. If you have it or whatever, just come to school. You'll be good. Okay, maybe not that last bit, but I do remember him being fairly relaxed about the whole thing, which I guess kind of makes sense. You don't want to scare a bunch of 12-year-olds for literally no reason, but I just think it's a funny little tidbit of information I remember. And speaking of schooling, let's start there. In the early days of the pandemic, due to quarantine and lockdown measures, many schools were forced to switch to remote or digital learning, which meant you were forced to use a laptop or tablet to access files and video calls using whatever software your school district assigned. My school had to use Microsoft Teams for all of that, and we would regularly go on to a video call with our teacher, who would explain whatever French or standard assignment we had to complete. And I remember for one of our math assignments, there was one very basic math question, and it was so easy that I even questioned if I read the assignment right. But nope, it was just really, really simple. It was like a first grade level math question that had something to do with frogs, I think. And you would just do that, rinse and repeat for 2 more months until the school year ended. Out in the real world, many governments and agencies began setting up protocols to help reduce the spread of the virus. Some of these included social distancing.
God, I should have retake. That's the thing I'm working on, is to retake takes that suck. Very. You can tell, like, usually when you hear a clip like that, it usually means I have done a few takes, but it's like that last take kind of sucks.
Up to 6 feet or 2 meters, wearing a surgical or N95 mask, the aforementioned quarantine, and in some places, vaccine passports. Obviously, those were set up later when vaccines, were rolling out. Which, fun fact, the vaccines were developed pretty quickly, not through a government conspiracy where they're...
God, when I saw that lab leak thing back in April, back in April, the White House was like, "Here's the brand new COVID.gov site," and I looked at it like, this looks like a mess.
They were all pre-planned, but rather banger technology. Let me explain. The vaccine was developed through mRNA methods. The mRNA vaccine works by using the genetic code of the virus to make a pretend version of the spike protein, which is the part of the virus that attaches to the cells and harms them. This pretend spike protein is exposed to your body, which attacks your immune system, but it creates antibodies to protect against the actual virus. You got that? If not, go watch this TED video from 2021 that goes into further detail about the vaccine. It's in the description below if you want to view it. Moving on. Alright, now that we have all that covered, I'm going to get a couple of my YouTuber friends to tell some of their pandemic stories. Not anything too crazy, but just a little something to expand the video a little bit more.
So when school finally went back in person, they limited the number of kids that could sit at each lunch table for social distancing reasons or whatever. And the table I was at with all my friends just so happened to be one over that limit. When a teacher said someone had to move, nobody volunteered. So I figured, alright, I'll volunteer. Surely someone will come with me, right?
Oh no.
Turns out I gave my friends too much credit because not a single one cared and I ate lunch alone. So, yeah, not a big fan of COVID.
Wow, what an enchanting, delightful tale, Boxmation. Howdy, I'm Jack, and I want to discuss my experience with quarantine. I was in my first year of high school, and we all got sent home with the belief that it would only be closed for 2 weeks. Didn't go as expected. We were hardly allowed to leave the house for months. All I did was grind on Fortnite with the lads, animate, and pretend to pay attention on online classes. Anyway.
Oh yeah, there's like a few errors
animate,
with this.
and pretend to pay...
So, firstly, I thought Ed Sheeran was Irish. He's not. He's from England. I only thought he was Irish because I was like, oh, he's ginger. He must be from Ireland. And the one lyric from that one song, where it's like something Irish. And I was like, oh, he's Irish. But turns out the lyric was something talking about an English man dating an Irish woman. Galway, which is a city in Ireland, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a city in Ireland. I have a map right there. Who else is not Irish? He's Irish. He's the president. He was the president of Ireland. Turns out they had an election recently. This guy's Irish. He's from Jack's server. He's obviously Irish. Jacksepticeye. He's from Northern Ireland. Same thing. Well, that's controversial, but
attention on online
close
classes.
enough. So yeah. He's not Irish. Yeah, he's not Irish. He's technically Irish.
Online classes. Anyways, back to you, Malcolm. Yes.
Alright, peak stories. Audience, give them a round of applause.
It's boring.
I think we should talk about some other aspects of the pandemic, like the toilet paper stuff. Remember that? Honestly, I don't remember the toilet paper craze itself, but I sure as hell remember the aftermath of all that. That being that stores had to restrict how many of what items were being sold because people were snatching toilet paper by the forklift. Now, what actually happened was that at the start of the pandemic, many people believed that there would be impending shortages due to a potential supply chain collapse. However, in reality, there was no major disruptions to the supply chain, and also toilet paper wasn't going to disappear anyway. Mass hysteria is awesome. Alright, what else? Oh yeah, so like I mentioned in my internet video 2 years ago, I said that online school for me only lasted from March to June 2020, and I returned to in-person classes in the fall under heavy restrictions. And oh boy, that was interesting. Fast forward to September 2020, and I was not feeling too hot. In fact, I was sick. I had corona. I'm just pulling your leg. I did not have COVID. What I actually had was strep throat. Like, that's any better. But I knew I had strep throat because for some random reason, I'd usually get it like once every year. As of now, it's been a while. But I still was sent to school. And I remember coughing a bit, and my friend was like, you have COVID. And then told everyone else that I did. Which, looking back, whether or not I had COVID, they still sort of stayed away from me. And me from them. And, yeah. By the way, I did get tested with the spin in a cup version of the COVID test. So I didn't get to do the brain tickler. At least not then. God, I hated it.
Yeah, I'd take it like a while later. I forgot what for, but I remember I had to do it a couple times.
Cool, we covered the history, said some personal stories, yada yada, and there we go. And then the COVID-19 pandemic was declared.
That sounds like his glasses are like off-centered from his face. Like, bro, adjust your glasses like this.
Over in May 2023, as I mentioned earlier, just over 3 years later. As a result of the pandemic, one major thing it taught humanity is that remote work and schooling is possible. Probably for the worst, to be honest with you. Again, I hated remote schooling. Another major thing the pandemic has done is increase depression around the world, with the main cause being social isolation. Again, take a look at the school system. In 2021, many schools started to reopen with many restrictions in place. Many students felt disconnected with their peers and began to suffer mentally. According to the CDC, in early 2021, after surveying over 7,000 students across the United States, they found that over 53.4% of students felt disconnected from their peers than previously, with 46.6% remaining being the opposite. But hey, those were from 2021, so if I had to guess, they probably lowered, which means more people are back together. I think. Hopefully. But don't quote me on that, though. Post-isolation, many people seemed unsure how to interact with others again, which probably helps explain the whole devious lick trend around the same time, with everything feeling chaotic. People were looking for ways to release their pent-up energy, but that's just how I see it. Still, it's a stupid trend, but that's my rationale.
Yeah, devious lick trend was just like stupid.
Up for it. But at the end of the day, it was still just theft. It was still stupid. And that is my 2025 retrospective on the COVID-19 pandemic.
You wanna know what's kind of crazy is how fast they made the vaccine, right? Which, I mean, I know COVID is a strain or like a deviation cousin from SARS-CoV, like the SARS virus, right? 2002. But it's still crazy how they like made the vaccine like a year and a half or so, however long it took. Is my thing still plugged in? Cool. Anyway, I think it's kind of crazy how like like had the vaccine taken a lot longer to make, right? It would have been in a pandemic for a lot longer. Chances are we could probably still be recovering by this point had it took a lot longer. So good job, hospital scientists, medical people. Good job. Yeah.
If you have any stories or fun anecdotes from the time period, feel free to share them in the comments below. Thankfully, life has been back to normal, as much as it can be at least, for quite some time now, and the pandemic is long gone, but not forgotten. Okay, technically it's not been undeclared a pandemic, just no longer a health emergency, whatever, screw you. It's no longer a pandemic, no one's wearing face masks anymore, and now we can relax, knowing that nothing like that will ever happen again in our entire lifetimes. Yep, we'll be completely fine. Hopefully.
I love that one line where it was like, no one's wearing masks anymore. Literally, like, ever since I made this video, I've noticed like a lot more people in public. I'm just like going to the store or whatever. Like, I think like a week later, I went to the store and I went to get like some mac and cheese or something. And I just noticed like a lot of people wearing masks again. And I'm like, what year are we in? 2025? Okay. What? I don't know. Maybe I was making this video maybe kind of more observant, I guess. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's flu season. Maybe it's gonna be over again. But just like, why is everyone wearing masks again? Obviously, I mean, still, the majority of people are maskless, as expected. But I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't opposed to wearing a mask back then. The more annoying part was definitely when it got colder in the winter and it was like, you know, my glasses get fogged up. Other than that, it was like fine. Actually, like, you know, like the moisture would build up, right? And then like I had like the cloth mask, so it'd be like this. And then like the moisture would build up, and so I'd have to like take my mask off and kind of like wipe it on my pants because I had to get like the stupid moisture off because I was wearing it for like hours on end. I don't think that's good, but yeah, I don't think that was yeah, but you know, just a little bit of a wipe and you're fine. Put it back in my face. Kind of gross thinking about it, but yeah. Yeah. Actually, another thing I forgot to mention was back when this was happening in middle school, like definitely early 2020, or no, late 2020, like early middle school. Like half of my middle school was in COVID. Now that I think about it. But anyway, I remember going to school multiple mornings, and I just constantly forget like I bring a mask to school, and like the teacher, you know, Miss Uranus, I forgot what her fake name was for a second. Miss Uranus would be at like the office, because like when you enter the school, the office is like right there. And she'd be like, "Where's your mask? You gotta bring your mask." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring it. I'll bring it tomorrow." And then she's like, and it wasn't like on purpose. I just genuinely forgot to bring it, and I just kind of kept it in my bag, and I just yeah.
God damn it! I didn't even mention Among Us, motherfuck.
And then, you know, Vlogmations' little bonus scene. I laughed at that. I was like, that was pretty funny. Like, I'm like, can I put this in the video? And he's like, yeah, sure. All right, final video. Let's go. Well, final public video.
So high school sure sucks. I can't work on YouTube videos that much. Look at this. 6 videos in 1 year. Still deciding on 6 or 7 total videos for 2025. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Today, I'll be showing you 5 of the most dangerous places on Earth that I thought were interesting. I also have the members of Textbook Stupidity here as well. Let's get into it.
Hit it, boys!
Within the Indian territory of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands lives a native tribe called the Centennialese on North Sentinel Island. Now, what makes the 59.67 square kilometer island so dangerous is that the natives like to kill people on sight the moment they see them. But I don't blame them for being so violent, as they are very territorial and don't want much to do with the outside world. But that also means we don't know a whole lot about the island's history before the British explorers showed up, so we should just start there. The earliest mention of the island was in the 18th century. An East India Company survey vessel was simply passing by the island, with one surveyor stating that he saw a multitude of lights upon the shore. Amazing. Over the 19th century, only a handful of expeditions occurred on the island, but it was in the 20th century when things really started rolling. In 1981, The MV Primrose, a cargo ship delivering chicken feed from Bangladesh to Australia, was being thrown around for an entire night as it encountered a storm. Once they got on the island, they noticed human activity with people emerging from the forest. Worried of a potential onboarding, the 30-member crew began to make weapons and hold out for help to arrive. Help did eventually arrive in the form of a helicopter lift, but that was only after several failed attempts by the Indian government. As far as I could tell, everyone survived. However, the ship was deserted, and you can still view it on Google Earth if you view the northwest of the island. In November 2018, an American Christian missionary named John Allen Chow was killed by the islanders once he arrived.
I've watched a lot of South Park, can you tell?
The reason as for why Mr. Chow went to the island in the first place was because he wanted to spread the word of God. The entire trip was deemed very illegal, as for a very long time, the Indian government has made any attempt to cross the 5 nautical miles surrounding the island prohibited. However, that did not stop our most recent victim. As recently as March 2025, another US citizen illegally entered the island to try and film a YouTube video. When he left the island, he left a coconut and a can of Diet Coke as an offering to the tribe.
Hey there! Up next, we have the Ukraine... Okay, well, not that part of the Ukraine, but up here, Chernobyl. To keep this brief, as this is not a history lesson, in April 1986, Reactor 4 of the Chernobyl power plant decided it was having a crappy day and had a meltdown. What was the cause? A safety test to make sure things were going smoothly. Explosion ended up leading to tons of radioactivity in the region, leading to eventual restrictions to stop people from entering the area. If you went to Chernobyl with no protection, you would get sick from the radiation. One way radiation affects your body is through your DNA, by either breaking down chemical bonds within your DNA strands, or breaking apart nearby water molecules. Although some cells can be repaired, many likely won't, and if enough cells are damaged, they can lead to things like cancer, organ failure, or death. The types of cancer include leukemia, thyroid, or respiratory cancers, but those would take years to develop. Other short-term effects of Chernobyl, like radiation, would be throwing up, diarrhea, fatigue, hair loss, and more notably, skin burns. Other than health effects, what else did Chernobyl have? Well, there now exists a 30-kilometer exclusion zone around the site. Chernobyl has had a lot of visitors come to the zone, as it's still technically safe. However, visits to the region were shut down in 2020 due to the pandemic, reopened in 2021, and then shut down again in 2022 due to the ongoing war in the country. So now that makes Chernobyl twice as dangerous.
We are Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. Oh, God. Yeah. Do not like that guy. I do not agree with his political views. He did not deserve to be shot, though. That's for sure. I don't know. I think America has it backwards. Like, oh, well, he advocated for gun violence, which is just like, yeah, or not. He advocated for more guns, which in turn leads to more gun violence, or something like that. And which, I agree with the sentiment that, like, that's wrong, right? Like, I think, generally less guns is ideal. Less school shootings and shit. But like, I don't think he deserved to get shot for that. I feel like it should be like, if you believe that gun violence, political assassination is wrong, right? I believe that you're able to make fun of people's, like, be able to make fun of this. I'm making fun of this guy. He's retarded. But I'm not gonna make fun of his, like, death. I saw that video, like, only a couple hours after it happened, and I was like, holy shit, that was disgusting. Yeah, I don't know. Political assassination is not funny. But I'm like fully on board with like making fun of this guy. It's just like a person. Yeah. Speaking of assassinations, this video is still on my is this on my watch later thing? I don't think so. Why is it's been on my search bar or suggestions tab for like a while now. Yeah. Trump assassination. Like, yeah, I don't like Trump either. Do not wish death on him. As much as I hate him. I don't know. Wait for him to naturally die, though. That, like, I don't know. I feel like the cause of someone's death is, like, kind of like, political assassination. That's wrong. Grass is green, obviously, but I think America needs to learn that.
Now,
Just looking at the name of this thing tells you all you need to know. It's the Death Valley. You see, in the north part of the Mojave Desert lies nearly 8,000 square kilometer area of barren landscape. And inside the barren landscape, it gets stupid hot. Now the reason for the intense heating is because of a few factors. Notably, 1, it's barren, the air is clear, there's no vegetation, water, or anything to absorb the sun's heat. 2, the valley is below sea level, meaning the sinking air gets compressed, which causes it to heat up. 3, the heat from nearby deserts gets trapped here. 4, Death Valley is surrounded by mountains, meaning any cold, moist air will likely rain upon the mountain, leaving the valley dry. Although people visit the valley often, it doesn't completely mean that the valley is safe. In the summer, Death Valley often reaches around 43 degrees Celsius. Prolonged exposure to such heat after a couple of hours can cause heat strokes. Some symptoms may include headache, dizziness, vomiting, blurred vision, slurred speech, or loss of consciousness. And death is likely to occur between 90 minutes to 3 hours as the heat intensifies, but the exact time depends on a person's age, health, and other factors.
And I found none. I'll travel at the speed of light. If I'm Santa now, does that mean that I sleep with Santa's wife? Cause I'm down, son. Yeah.
So, we went from human activity, radiation, the heat, and now I think we should talk about the cold. Located on the border of Nepal and China lies the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. Mount Everest is over 8,800 meters tall, which is just in the range of the death zone, which is the term used by mountaineers to describe the altitude of which there is not enough oxygen, and pressure, which is not enough to sustain human life. Temperature is something you might want to look out for. Although not as cold as Antarctica's temperatures of around -40s to 60s, Mount Everest gets around -20s and 30s, which is still pretty cold and can kill you in just a few short hours if you're not wearing the proper gear. At such altitudes, you are likely to suffer from acute mountain sickness, or AMS, which is the symptoms closely lined up to what you'd experience with intense heat, those being headaches, dizziness, vomiting, and fatigue. However, other symptoms also include shortness of breath, frostbite, as well as HACE or HAPE. HAPE is when your lungs fill with fluid, which causes shorts of breath. HACE is when your brain swells from lack of oxygen. Both are deathly if left untreated. So yeah, not fun. As of 2025, there are roughly 400 people who have died trying to climb Mount Everest, with 200 of those dead bodies remaining on the mountain. One of the most infamous deceased climbers is, or I guess was, Green Boots. Green Boots is the name of an unidentified body lying on the mountain that died sometime around the late 1990s. The leading theory of Green Boots' identity was that he was Teswang Paljor, an Indian climber of the ITBP who died during 1996 Mount Everest blizzard, but this is yet to be confirmed.
And for our last segment, just to keep it brief, Dalol, Ethiopia. What makes this place so dangerous is its hot springs that spew out acidic fluids everywhere. This place is so acidic to the point where no life can even exist, with only some microorganisms living in the region, but not in the vicinity of the hot springs or acid pools. Dalol is considered a ghost town because it did actually hold people for a time. In the early 20th century, some Italian and American potash mining companies came on by to set up shop. The town was later abandoned in the 1960s as the environment became pretty aggressive, just like my ex-wife after a couple beers.
I like that joke. It's pretty funny. That was like when I first heard it. It was like I was listening to the audio when Carson sent it to me, and I was like, that was pretty funny. I'm just leaving that in because it's. I don't know, I laughed like a lot. Like again, right, first time hearing it was pretty funny. Yeah, I know my reaction is not like, "Wow, you seem pretty bored." Well, yeah, 'cause it's 3 a.m. So, yeah.
Since many of the buildings were made of just salt blocks, they corroded and now are just rubble and remains of a former mining site. The last time Dalol erupted was in 2011, leading to dark smoke and ash in nearby villages, and also leaving Dalol to be even more acidic. In conclusion, this place is only really dangerous if you get super close to the acidic volcano, so if you're like chilling outside the volcano, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
And those are some of the most dangerous places on Earth. I want to give a huge thanks to Textbook Stupidity for joining me on this video, and thanks to you guys for watching it. Since this is my last video of 2025, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Please subscribe. You watched the entire video. I think you should. Remember to stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the year 2026.
2026. It's still not the new year just yet. Still only the 30th, but I have one more day, and then it's a whole new year, and so I'm not going to be seeing you until this day right here. So this is the gap between filming, me right here, and this is your past, and this is my future. Where Happy New Year, by the way. So yeah, those are all of my videos on my channel. But that's not all of them we're gonna be showing you today, because there's actually some private videos that the most dangerous place on earth. This is the official title. Anyway, so visibility. So I'm gonna show you 3 videos. I'm gonna show you random water project, random thoughts, and then the Q&A. So water project, because it was a school project that I did in grade 9. Random thoughts, because, you know, cliche video. I privated it because it sucks. Q&A, because I'm gonna re-answer those questions. So let's get right into it.
Water is amazing. You can drink it, you shower in it.
Oh yeah, the animations, like the reason why there's like
water is amazing. You can drink it, you shower.
Yeah, the reason why there's just like no animation, because I did have it, like there was movement for the animation, but the thing is, on little floaties I wrote letters URMOM, like your mom, right? Because it was just like a stupid little visual detail. It wasn't like a haha your mom joke. I mean, it sort of was, but it wasn't like it was just a random detail, you know, like a throwaway, like, oh, who cares, right? And I knew, and you know, hindsight 2020 school project, but it was just like, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. Turns out it was, because when I went to go present this video, my teacher already had it on like the projector, and so you can imagine this on like a huge wall, right? And I mean, like in letters, your mom. My teacher was like, "What's this?" And I was like, and I started like giggling a little bit with my friend. I was just like, "Oh, you know, it says your mom, right?" And I was laughing at the fact that like it was stupid. Again, not the your mom joke. Again, your mom jokes are corny, right? It's the sort of weird irony to it. I don't know, but like I was laughing at that part, giggling. My teacher's like, "Well, this is not school appropriate," and then I was just like, "Oh shit!" And then she sent like a wonderfully worded email back home, and I got in trouble for it. And I was like, "What the fuck?" So I had to crowd that part out. Which I eventually got an A on the project, so that was fine. But it was just like she did not need to be all pissy about it.
You can drink it.
She's a good teacher though. I don't know if she still teaches, but besides that, and like I think there was another time in class. Besides those couple incidences, she was fine. She was good.
Shower in it, and I guess you can swim in it if you feel like it. But this resource isn't unlimited, far from it, and it's important for us to protect it so we all don't go to war over it, which is already a problem in some Middle Eastern countries already. So here's some things you can do to preserve this amazing resource we need to survive. You can limit the amount of time you take to shower. The maximum should be about 15 minutes.
Again, I don't really believe in this. I think you should like conserve your water, right? But it's like I don't practice what I preach here. I take 15-minute showers on average. No, what do you do in a 5-minute shower? Like realistically, right? Unless you're like some like kind of get like, you know, on a rush. But like, you know, I gotta like just sit in the shower, be all nice and warm. You know, just gotta chill in it for like a while. I think showers. I think like ideal like 10 to 20, 25 minutes ish. Is probably like the good shower, you know. Anything longer than that, you're just wasting water. Anything shorter than that, what are you doing? Why are you rushing it so fast? I don't know. That's just me.
You should also turn off the tap when you're brushing your teeth. This is just really wasteful.
Yeah, imagine not putting the water off when you brush your teeth. Ooh. I'm lazy. I'm sorry.
I don't really get how people do this. Most of the water that you use comes through your bathroom. And, well, I mean, it makes sense. It's all water-based. Your toilet, your sink, your bathtub. Newer toilets sometimes have buttons on the top of the tank for different things.
I have no idea why this is muted.
You can also buy a reusable water bottle instead of a plastic water bottle. It's going to help you and the environment in the long run.
Me conserving water by using less water. And then I waste water because I'm not actually using it. I'm just like it's a example. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm a little stupid. Well, I like this video because it's kind of like a very early beta test of like my educational content in a way. You know, little factual stuff. Plus, there are sources in this video, but that's because I was kind of forced to do that. Anyway, random thoughts. Oh God.
This thought came to me a bit ago, and I was thinking, every human being that has ever existed is still around today. And Adam's never gonna destroy.
Why can't I? Yeah. Oh wait, yeah. I hate this video because one, it looks goofy. I don't know why my character has a neck, and also these thoughts aren't original. I was just ripping them off from like other people. With like very tiny differences.
Thinking, every human being that has ever existed is still around today.
I was just doing it
never
because
destroyed. The remains of the first human are somewhere on this earth. How do some people that are born blind dream? And what accent do deaf people think in? In a few hundred years, what will future humans think of us? Like, what if they found an internet archive, just start watching YouTube videos, just, you know, see a Rickroll, or, I don't know, the internet archive, just start watching...
What's that noise?
Deaf people thinking. In a few hundred years, what will future humans think of us? Like, what if they found an internet archive, just start...
That's coming from the video. I hear like this bass music or like music stuff in the background. I thought that was just
watching YouTube videos, just, you know, see a Rickroll, or see a Rickroll. Just start watching YouTube videos, just, you know, see a Rickroll, or I don't know, the Out on Sale, or my channel.
Oh
and
God.
we put this into Microsoft Office backwards, it would be macro hard on fire. You probably don't read it. Not macro hard. I'm reading write scribbles repeatedly, and it makes something called a language. And I'm reading those scribbles, I thought I'm making the script, and now I'm reading them out to you.
Alright, time capsule. It's gonna be opening pretty soon. May 1st, 2026.
And somehow understanding them. Many of us probably wanted to travel to the other side of the world, unless you like live in Argentina or Thailand. You'd probably, you know, dig a hole through the ocean. We wouldn't even make it to the ocean, because you'd probably die, because the intense heat of the...
Because you'd probably die. Okay, that's kind of funny the way I said it.
So yeah, you want to be able to reach the antipode of the Earth. Antipode means the direct opposite of something. Happy New Year! By a month later, I know it's been a break, and I'm finally back. I have a better video planned for March.
Yeah. Alright, now, time for the final video of the night. Or the
Hey
day.
there. Welcome to Life Noggin.
Alright, let's rapid fire these questions. 3, 2, 1. Thoughts on NFTs?
Mid. NFTs. They're stupid because, God, I forgot about these things, to be honest. They were still like a product of like 2021, 2022. Yeah, they're stupid because like you just screenshot the image, so they have no value.
NFTs are pointless. Will there be a second Q&A video?
No. If you have any questions, just join the Discord or leave a comment, and I'll likely respond. It's really, you know what? Under this video, go there in the comments. Have any questions? Ask them. I'll answer them, unless they're weird. But you guys are chill. You're fine.
Probably. Thoughts on furries? Be who you want, I guess. Will there be a second Q&A video? Probably.
Thoughts on furries? Weird. Yeah. This is supposed to be a little gag of like, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was trying to make some stupid joke about like beating up furries or some shit like that. I was red pilled when I was in middle school. Did I know it? God, I was fucking a cornball. I was a fucking cornball. Holy shit. Yeah,
Thoughts on furries?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really care. I think it's like, I think it's weird, but I'm not gonna hate you for it. It's your own thing. Be who you want, but genuinely, not this cornball.
Be who you want, I guess. That's a long question.
But I'm gonna answer that long question. Where did the chicken go? It crossed the road. How was the experience with Josh provide when you collaborated with him? It was, I don't remember much from it, but I remember it being very simplistic. Like, hey, do you want to collab? And he was like, sure. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, she does want to collab. And so, yeah. Who was your favorite sub? My favorite subscriber is, I don't have one, because I don't know any of you. I mean, I could do the cheeky answer and be like, oh, all you guys are my favorite subscribers. you know what? My favorite subscribers are the ones who like and comment.
That's a long question. Rapid fire.
You know, I'll play the scene out and I'll answer the questions myself.
Are these ones? Let's go. What's your video on your channel? Movie theaters. How long did it take video? 3 to 5 weeks. When did you start making art or animation? Since I was 8. I did hear, a bit of stop motion animation. Channel? Movie theaters. That's a long question. Rapid fire these ones. Let's go.
Okay, so making sure my audio is still here. Cool. What's my favorite video on the channel now? It's Futuristic technology and the creepiest people in history, because 2023 was definitely like the transitional year between like stories and then educational, and I liked it. Year wise, 2023 was kind of mid for me. Wasn't a fan of it, especially last half of the year, because that's when I moved. But video wise, it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Yo, what's your video on your channel? Movie theaters.
I don't know why I'm playing this. I already had this one go through.
Video? 3 to 5 weeks. When did you...
How long does it take a video? About a month and a half. Mostly because of me not making videos after school and whatnot. High school sucks. I mentioned this in my latest video. Have no time to work on videos because I actually have to focus on my future. So in reality, writing a video takes about 2 weeks, depending on how easy or hard it is to write a video. Audio takes about a day, not even, takes about a couple hours. And animation takes about a few weeks. I've been doing a lot longer videos, 8 minutes. Not intentionally. I'm actually trying to keep my videos 5 minutes, but 8 minutes is just how they've been turning out. I mean, long videos are good, I guess, for watch time, but I don't know. I'm not making money off it yet, so bummer. But yeah, about 1.5 months to make a video. Upload schedule more like 2 to 3 months, but ideally I want to upload twice a month, but that's not gonna happen because 1, real life, 2, I don't have a team. I'm by myself, right? So I can't. I'd have to have a team of people, and I'm also a very nitpicky person. I'm like, I want this to go exactly like this, right? Or I want this to be really consistent, right? I think I have to build myself up, be more open to other people's ideas on my own projects rather than I have to. Yeah, but I'll worry about that when I get there.
Or animation? Since I was 8, I did hear a bit of.
Oh yeah, and then obviously, when did I start making art animation? I started making art when I was around 8 years old, give or take. My brother was a drawer, Chandler. He's a drawer, and I was a fan of that. And I was like, I want to do this, and so I started making comics of my own. I started liking YouTube because I like these channels called the odd ones that was later. It was Life Noggin and Kids Learning Tube, which I'm gonna answer that question in just a second. It's about to pop up in just a second. But yeah, Life Noggin I was really into that. But I was really into making stickbot stop motion stuff as well. Yeah, comics, like I said. I actually have some comics I do want to open up for a future video. It'll be reacting to my old comics, but I feel like that has to be a milestone of a video to do. I was thinking of an art journey video for my 5-year anniversary, but it's I feel like I'd have to be bigger to kind of show more growth, I guess. I feel but anyway, yeah, around 8 years old.
Since I was 8, I did hear a bit of stop motion animation, and it was fun. Video games, Minecraft, and Among Us.
Favorite video games now, definitely Fortnite, because I'm not much of a gamer. I like casual stuff, and so when I play Fortnite, I suck at it. But it's just kind of I'm on my Switch, my little Switch Lite here. I'm not gonna show it to you because it's kind of Switch Lite. It's pretty much my Fortnite device at this point. Kind of chilling, but I don't really play Fortnite that much. I played it a lot recently because of winter break, but overall it's not that common of a game I play. But yeah, casual gamer or Universe Sandbox or Space Engine. Pretty cool to me.
Favorite inspiration?
My inspirations, like I just said, Life Noggin and Kids Learning Tube. If you were, I remember watching all the videos, not all the videos, a vast majority of the videos from like 2015, 16, 17, and 2018. Kids on YouTube. I was like, I watched the song so much that if you played the song, I could probably sing them off memory. I'm not doing that, but I could. I think the Canada one, we are Canada, made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories with capitals and all. I could sing that song word for word. Gun to my head, sing that song flawlessly. I think. I don't want to test that. Do I have any pets? At the time of recording that video, I had a few. I did have 5, I think, around that time, or at least roughly. I now have 4 pets, I think. Yeah, had 5, now I have 4. So I have 2 dogs, had 3 cats, I now have 2 cats. Because one of the cats is my siblings. But 2 of the cats, Ajax and Wade, both named after Deadpool characters, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think Wade is Deadpool's name. Anyway, yeah, Wade and Ajax. Ajax, black cat. Wade, white cat. Wade unfortunately passed away in November 2023 to a seizure. So yeah, yeah. He's an amazing cat. Miss him. Yeah. Rest in peace, Wade. Yeah. Fighter Fox, do I like your channel? I mean, I would, but I mean, your channel's dead as far as I know. Or at least I think it's dead. I don't think it'd be uploaded in years. So, in terms of content and uploading, no. Which is better, pancakes or waffles? Waffles, because it's harder to screw up a waffle than it is to screw up a pancake. Because in a waffle, you just put it in the machine and just like, boop. Pancakes, it's just like, you gotta like, oh, frick. You know, my grandma can make pretty good pancakes though. So, if you're talking about my grandma's pancakes versus any waffle, my grandma's pancakes is clear.
Adwanzel Life Noggin. Which is better, waffles or pancakes? Definitely waffles, 50-50 for pancakes and 100% for waffles.
And those are all of my videos. Yeah. All of my videos over the past 5 years and counting. So, where do I go from here? So, as mentioned, I am now in grade 12. I started this channel when I was in the 7th grade. Mid-pandemic. And now that's the thing of the past. Yeah, graduating pretty soon. So February 14th today, that means in approximately 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 4 or 5 months, I'll be graduated high school. And then a few months after that, I'll be attending, well, should be attending. I haven't got my acceptance email just yet, but I should be attending university trades to join carpentry because I want to go into joinery because I like woodworking. I'm fond of it. It's something I could see myself doing. I mean, I do want to do YouTube. I like doing it. It's fun. Ideally, I'd love to do this, but unfortunately, my sub count is not high at all. Not even close to making money. So I don't see myself living off of it. I mean, I'm still like, well, while I'm working, I'm gonna do YouTube on the side. So please go somewhere. That'd be awesome. But I'm not gonna bet on it. So I'm gonna be working joinery. I'm gonna show you something. Hold on. This right here. Hold on. I don't want crap on here. The gumball machine I showed you earlier. But make sure, where's my mouse? This, I made this purely by myself. And, yeah. I made it. I'm proud of it. It's a dirty table. I remember I made this back in grade 11. And I'm going to be doing woodworking for grade 12 this year. Currently it's semester 1 as of recording. Semester 2 is just around the corner, which means pretty shortly I'll be doing woodworking. I do want to make better stuff for woodworking second semester this year, so I'll probably post it like Twitter or something if I feel like it. Yeah, I do. I want something bigger. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna pursue woodworking, carpentry, joinery, which is basically furniture making like that, right? So I'm not gonna be building houses. At least I don't think I will be anytime soon. In that, just so I can make money, you know, live, do YouTube on the side, and yeah, I do not plan on quitting anytime soon. If I don't upload for a while, it means I'm very busy, but I'm sure I'll update you guys on whatever. So yeah, that's my plan. Yeah, I plan woodworking, joinery. Do not plan on quitting. And it's been a fun 5 years making YouTube videos. I am surprised I have continued this long, making 30 plus full length animations. It says 60, but that's mostly because of like YouTube Shorts, because you can probably sell it pretty quickly. But yeah, 30 plus animations over the past 5 years. Getting better in quality, or I like to believe, but there's still more work to be done. My animations aren't good. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say they're awful, but I can see that there's room for improvement, and I'll try my best to keep pushing. So I'll keep pushing that, and hopefully another 5 years, assuming YouTube's still around and I'm still making videos, we're in a better place. Not that we're in a bad place now, but I want to see better. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching, and happy 5 years.